Terpy Dabs 42069. Welcome. You're the first one on here. Paul 345. Welcome. This is the late night edition of Encounters. Writer Boy, welcome to the show. Bob, I think Palco, Mark Robinson, Fabiana, good to see you. I like your show. It's positive. Thank you, Paul. We appreciate that very much. Gail, good to see you always. Sharon, welcome to the show. Let's get it. Let's go. Living on the Level, welcome to the show. Psychic Love Readings, interesting. Good name. DJ Wood 67, welcome to our show. Narnia, good to have you with us. We're going to be getting Shy on here. Shy has some big news for us, folks. That's our Department of Defense contact. We're going to be getting her on here. I just got a message from her from 9 o'clock. I just turned my phone on to take a look at my TikTok messages, and we'll be having her on, I think, down the rabbit holes here with us here. We're just getting on here, folks. Also, if I'm Shy, I find on here and tell us some big news. There's some big news that's happening that nobody knows about. And I was just looking at the messaging from 9 p.m. on the TikTok messaging part of my TikTok. So we'll be getting her on here. This is the Encounter Show, late night. I'm CmdrAleon, El Chuo. I think it's El Chucho. Marinette, good to have you with us. And we're up here in beautiful Connecticut, where it's finally sunny out today. It was sunny out this afternoon. We had a lot of rain the last few days, and it's nice to see the sun coming back out. It's a clear night here on this part of the earth, so we're just glad to be here. So welcome everybody to the show. James, good evening, brother. How you doing? My co-host James is here, and I got the feeling Shy has more information for us because I got a message from her that said 9 o'clock, and that was for today, this evening. I haven't received the video footage, so I messaged her back about the video footage she mentioned she was going to get to me, and once I get that video footage, we'll review it and put it on our YouTube channel and also here on Ashtar Command Spaceship News.
Maybe she's got a thumb drive from the mothership.
Yeah, I think she did. I know she's out here because, yeah, she is here. I see her flipping up on my share button here. Okay, but I think she's around here somewhere.
Yeah, when she's ready to join, she'll pop on.
We just said, take it easy. She mentioned her increase in security clearance and what she's doing in that show. I just posted that show from last night on YouTube. So if you missed it, you can watch the show on YouTube. All the guests, including Shy, is on that recorded show on Ashtar Command Spaceship News on YouTube. That's my YouTube channel. And all my encounter shows are now being put on YouTube as well. Castle, good to have you with us. We're going to bring Castle on. We had him on this morning. He's from Brazil, and he's going to be our first guest. And we're going to talk about stuff going on in South America and Brazil with the extraterrestrial areas. He's a great person. We just became friends this morning, and we're so happy to have met him. I also think that he'll maybe be a regular reporter for us down in South America of anything that deals with the OMV or the UFOs in South America. I think he'll be a good contact for us. And we just really we always have good people in our show here, always. Our guests, the people that we talk to, everybody here, all of our viewers, everybody here is just phenomenal. I got to thank you for, with all the time you can be doing other things, to take the time to spend 2 hours a night on Encounters. We are so happy, and I'm so blessed to have all of you sharing and letting other people know about our show. Vicky in England, good to have you, Vicky. Blessings to you.
Hi,
O'Shea, welcome to the show. And a little biology is going on here.
Time for some Claritin.
Yeah, this is the time of year in New England where allergies happen. The weather changes and it affects everybody, including extraterrestrial beings like me. So, Writer Boy, welcome, Ruby. Thanks for the share. We'll bring Castle on first. We're going to bring Castle on, and he's just a great person. He's out of Brazil. So we're not going to wait any longer. We're going to bring him on. Please share and like. Please also send gifts. If you have TikTok coins, help support our mission work. Your gifts are appreciated during the show. And so please do that. And we're going to bring Castle
Ladies
on
and
here with
gentlemen,
us
our
from
first
Brazil.
guest of the night, Castle.
And he'll be on in a second. Michelle, thank you everybody for coming in here. Please share and like. Castle, good to see you again this evening. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. You want to turn your camera on the show?
It's late night.
Late
It's
night.
it's
You
very
don't have
hard to
to.
see me right now.
I try to get people awake with the cameras on because people like to see real faces, but I understand.
Yeah, no, it's really late actually. It's not really great camera when it's nighttime, so yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Pretty
Well,
much that
this is
you're just
Castle.
gonna see everything blurry. Hey guys.
And this is what he looks like in the picture. So he is real, and he's not AI or anything. So
No.
Castle, we talked this morning about some of the things going on down your way, and can you talk about in general what's happening in Brazil with in general in South America, the history of incredible sightings and video footage from that part of the world has always been consistent. And can you tell us what you know? Have you had your own experiences? I don't think I even asked you that this morning.
Well, actually my great experience was actually in Canada, not in Brazil.
Oh,
Canada.
wow.
So yeah, I was just camping and I was living in a time that I didn't really know much about UFOs. I wasn't really engaged. But after what I saw that night when I was camping with my friends, I just could not deny. What I saw was not normal and it was not human.
Yeah.
And it was a
What did
lot
you
of them.
see? Wait, what did you see?
So one of my friends saw, he thought it was a comet or something or a shooting star. But in reality, many of them started showing up and they were actually hovering and it kind of looked like they were like flashing, like, like a camera flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it looked like they were like analyzing the field or something. Again,
Yeah.
we were at the top of a mountain, so we were very away from the city. It was all dark. It was a national park. I think the region where I was camping is actually one of the regions where a lot of people see the sightings in that region in Canada. It
What
was in
area were
British
you in?
Columbia.
Yeah. Where
British
in Canada
Columbia.
were you? British Columbia. Yeah, that's
Oh,
Yeah.
there's a
okay.
lot of stuff going on there.
So I remember one time I went to a UFO meeting. I got some pretty interesting stories, but nothing really conclusive. But I have something for you that I was researching earlier about a supposedly ancient city in the middle of the Amazon jungle.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Did the one that you just found?
Um, they haven't confirmed yet, but there is a team of one of the greatest ufologists in Brazil. He's conducting a research with a lot of people regarding, this allegedly, supposedly city. They're calling it
Yeah.
Ratanabá. They said they're calling it the center of the world or something like. I don't know. They said that probably the reason why the city is buried by the forest is because of mud
Yeah.
floods.
Mud floods.
So, yeah, I mean,
They
that's
have
probably the
imaging.
reason why everything is covered, right? We're seeing this today. We're seeing like cities being like engulfed by the mud and stuff like that. So, like, we're understanding how this ancient civilization has really disappeared because we can clearly see this with our own eyes, right?
Sure.
But it's
Yeah.
really interesting, like the satellite images or the plane footage that you can watch, you can see that there's something like there's some kind of structure in that
Hmm.
region.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a chessboard, like or like it doesn't look natural, you know?
Yeah,
It's like
Castle,
what
I've
Yeah.
seen satellite imaging of it. It's amazing. When they uncover it,
Yeah.
if they release it to the public, it's going to be one of the greatest finds ever.
Really, it
I
will
know,
be.
but like I don't know, something is not allowing them to go there. I don't know if it's I don't
I
know,
think it's
land from the
supernatural.
native. No, it could be because some lands of native people, no one can really go. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of complications regarding that, you know. There's
Are
some
there
Yeah,
are there
unapproachable
they can't
tribes that
dig
they
up.
cannot Some untouchable tribes that cannot really like have contact with the white man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, right.
So yeah.
So that's one of the things that they're going to probably have run into. Is there possibly any energetic areas in terms of that new find that they obviously are just imaging all this, but do they know whether it was an advanced civilization that was there at one time or any other
Well,
information yet, or is it too early?
there are some videos of some people who actually live around that region, and some regions around that place where you can see the pictures. There's some weird structures, like you can see, um, like a man-made like a way for water to go to, like
Yep.
Yeah,
ancient ways that they used to make. So like there's
yeah,
some kind of stuff like that, but like nothing really conclusive. No one has ever really done anything, any research or they haven't found anything literally. Not yet.
right. It's really too
Yeah, it's
soon.
just
It really is
imaging and
really.
stuff.
Yeah, but there's actually a city, I forgot which state it is, that it's like a little community that's based on UFO. I don't know. It's kind of like it's not like a religion, it's more like a cult or something. But they do some
Yeah,
kind of researches and they live like in little dome houses that look like UFO shaped. It's really interesting.
Oh, that's in America?
It's in Brazil.
that's in South
Oh,
America,
in
in
Brazil.
Brazil.
Yeah.
And so is it like a
That
culture? Or you said it like a cult?
I wouldn't say like a cult, but I don't know what they do when the cameras were not rolling. I saw this
right.
on a TV news. So someone from the TV news went there to interview people, but I don't know if people live there anymore because some of them were abandoning, or I don't know. Maybe it's just
Yeah.
no one lives there no more. It
Well,
was built
that's
in the
probably
80s, I
the
believe.
place. Yeah, it's probably a place where the ETs would take, if they were landing a ship, they can just stay in those little domes,
Yeah,
you
but
know?
back to the Virginia case, which was very
Yeah,
interesting. We were talking earlier in the morning. The Virginia thing was interesting, not only because it looked like it was actually a crash, but because the U.S. military came within hours. They arrived
yeah,
within hours after the incident, which is very weird because if it wasn't something so serious, why would the U.S. government intervene? Because
Ah, good
different than many
question.
other countries, Brazil does not allow US to really play the cards here like other
yeah,
countries. So whatever this happens is very suspicious.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I had a video, but I couldn't find it anymore. I had some screenshots of an allegedly interview with a guy who had a briefcase with a bunch of documents, and he had some X-rays from one of the beings that they dissecate or something. When they,
Yeah,
Wow.
when
dissected.
I
Yeah,
told you they brought to the hospital, yeah.
yeah,
So there is also an interview with the doctor who performed the autopsy. And the doctor actually says that it wasn't anything that he ever seen before. It didn't look like a midget, it didn't look like anything human. He also
yeah,
mentioned the fact that the eyes were covered by this weird thing layer that kind of looked like contact lenses.
yeah.
And the color of the eyes looked more like human, but they were like almond shaped.
Yeah. Is
But
that
Wow.
what, were the eyes covered with like a black lens of some sort?
actually, it was red,
Red.
like reddish. And one of the creatures apparently ran into the city. Well, I wouldn't say city; it was like a very small community back in the
Yeah,
time in the 90s. So three girls from that same town, one of the girls saw the creature crouched in like a bush area, like between two houses,
yeah.
and she called her sisters. They went there and they all saw the creature, but they ran away because they
Wow.
were very scared.
Yeah. Well, I would think the ET was scared too. We're thinking as, these sisters are
Well,
scared, but
yeah, it looks like that this one they capture afterwards, but no one really knows what actually happened. I have a picture of an allegedly picture of this thing dead in a box, but I'm not really sure if it is
Yeah.
but I couldn't find like anything that someone could claim that picture and it looked like a very old picture as well. So I don't know if it's real.
Castle, do
Oh,
you
okay.
by any chance know the name of that town that you were
Yeah.
mentioning in Brazil from back in the 90s? Because I've heard stories about this before.
So yeah, so I don't know if you know James Fox, the guy who makes a lot of documentaries regarding
Yeah.
UFOs.
Yeah. James
So
Fox. Yes, I know him.
he just recently made a documentary about this case. It's called the Virginia case, the Virginia UFO crash.
Yep. Virginia. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Handy
it's
J. Thank
yeah.
you, Handy J. Handy J, what a
So
name.
yeah, if you ever been to like around Area 51 or if you know someone who's been around there, you're gonna see a lot of like these little restaurants with the UFO themes and stuff. So you see the same
Right.
things when you go to this town because everyone
Wow.
has a story about it because a lot of people saw it. A lot. It wasn't just
Wow.
a few, it was a lot of people. And some
Yeah,
of
this
people
is what I
died.
hear.
Some of people die of radiation afterwards.
Oh,
Especially
Mm.
radiation. Yeah.
two of the military personnels died of radiation exposure.
Commander, he's
Wow.
confirmed this story has been lore for a while and he's
Yeah.
confirming it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He is
there's a
confirming.
lot of people that actually confirm this thing. Like a lot of people.
Yeah, but you know what? We haven't heard any confirmation from somebody on the ground and from Brazil.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people like imagine like back in that time, especially today, it would
Yeah.
be hard for us to see or understand something that we cannot comprehend, and especially that region where education isn't like a broad thing. So
Right.
imagine if you don't have much education, you have hard time interpreting things. So a lot of people really go like scared for life. So
Yeah.
they don't even want to talk about it or mention what happened, you know. And some people they can like threaten you if you insist in knowing what happened. Like they can like get a gun and try to shoot you because it's their home.
Right. So there's a lot of that going on too. That's you know, it's a different story when you're dealing with when I hear these stories like I'm hearing from Brazil, the information that people get is far greater. And also in Brazil, I understand you've had UFO, the government has UFO, the UFO government do any disclosure meetings, government people with people in the military in Brazil?
Um, Not really. You will never see like a military personnel really coming forward and saying anything. But
Yeah.
there's some former military personnel like from really long time. They are actually willing to cooperate or ask like gently the government to really do it. But we have a new government right now, so things are a little bit different, like in the Congress. So they don't really much care about this kind of topics, but they are asking the military to really release those documents, and they're being analyzed. But no one knows what's going to happen next because one of the
Yeah.
biggest leaders of the UFO research teams in Brazil died recently, and he is the founder
Really?
of the he is the founder of the Brazilian UFO magazine, which is the biggest UFO magazine in the country. So yeah, it's kind of hard right now because he had a lot of access to things that no one else has. So that's a little problem we have right now. But back in a
Wow.
time, like a couple, I believe 15 years ago, he was granted access to the Virginia case and many other UFO cases we had in Brazil, especially the one I told you with the laser beams. He saw pictures and stuff that no one could see because the government did not allow them to, take copies of it, but they allowed
Hmm.
them to see. I don't know if you heard similar stories throughout, other people. They
Mm-hmm.
had access to see documents and pictures, but you cannot write down anything, you cannot take notes, you cannot say anything. You can just see it. That's basically what
Wow.
happened. Yeah, I've heard similar stories with Linda Moulton Howe as well, that she was granted access to some documents, but she couldn't really do anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, I know Linda Moulton Howe. She and I met a number of times in Connecticut. There used to be a big UFO conference here with people like Colin Andrews and other well-known people. And in the earlier days, in the 80s, or actually early 90s, I met Linda Moulton Howe and a few other key people. And so, yeah, she's done a lot of work in terms of all these things as well.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of my, my me going down the rabbit hole, I think Linda Moulton Howe helped me a lot because I understood where she came from with all this UFO stuff because she just went to investigate cattle mutilation and she was just a journalist, a simple person, a wife, a mom, and all of a sudden she found out she saw something that she couldn't explain and a different phenomena that had no explanation that no human on this planet can explain. So like
Yeah.
these kind of things kind of motivates you to keep going and investigating more and looking for more. And sometimes you find yourself in a situation where you don't know if you want to push forward because
Hmm.
there's always someone who's going to prevent you to do so.
Oh, yeah, there's always that one step forward and someone's trying to block you from taking the bigger step, right? And
Yeah,
there's always going to be something like that going on.
it's crazy because I've done a lot of videos really exposing a lot of stuff here, but all of the my greatest videos I would say because I was actually exposing things we like with pictures, with evidence, with everything, but TikTok just decides to remove everything. And I've heard some people get their videos removed from YouTube as well. So I don't know what's going
Yeah, I
on.
must say that the UFO footage I've posted here on Astro Spaceship News, not one of the videos has been removed. I'm really kind of thankful of that. I've posted a lot of good videos, and I have more postings I will do. I look at a lot of things. I get a lot of emails of video footage, and I really, dissect them piece by piece. So yeah, I must say, in my case, I've not had any problems with that happening here. So that's yeah.
Yeah. Also, recently we are having a lot of UFO sightings in Brazil, especially in the south of the country. I believe
Southern
there's
Brazil.
more. Yeah, I believe there's more sightings down there because it's the most advanced part of the country where things are more advanced, especially economically. But in it, you can see a lot of cases people reporting seeing or in remote areas, especially where I live.
Yeah.
I have my stepfather. He once was driving with I think two other friends. It was about 11 p.m. It was very late night, and they were chased by these three balls of fires for like half an hour, and no
Mm,
one was drunk. Nobody had anything. They were just driving. But
yeah.
all of a sudden, these three balls disappeared, and no one has ever heard. But if you Google it, you might find some reports regarding that. Like you can just translate with the Chrome function, like the
Yeah.
translation thing. But you're probably gonna find like a lot of stuff. Like I said, there is this space launching base around here, which
Hmm.
it might be the reason why we're seeing a lot of strange UFOs.
Related to the base being where it is, are you saying that the UFOs or the Envy are attracted to what's going on with that base with the missiles or the space stuff that they're doing?
There could be a connection, especially because we see um, a lot of evidence, right? In the
Yeah.
recent years, especially there's some videos where we could see launch failures, and
Hmm.
before the failure, we could see some weird activity going on,
Hmm.
like as if like a beam of light came down from nowhere and made it blow.
Wow.
But yeah, but we haven't had any accidents in this launch base, so hopefully we won't be having. Because the last accident was actually really bad and a lot of workers died and it wasn't really a good thing.
No, I wouldn't think that would be.
Yeah,
No one
but
wants that to happen.
basically who owns this base right now is Elon Musk,
Elon
What?
Musk
which is
owns Elon
which is
Musk
very
owns this
interesting.
base.
Basically, yeah, he just did a partnership And a couple of days ago, one of the SpaceX rocket ships just went by my town, like on the road.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
you mean you saw them moving it?
yeah, they were moving with like a giant truck,
You know, I
like the
gotta
parts.
wonder what his deal is with all these satellites. How many satellites do you need to pollute the outer atmosphere of planet Earth? You know, I mean, every day this guy's got a bunch of satellites going up into space. Is there
But
any kind of
honestly, this satellites is a kind of like a funny thing because just recently, Earth had like a blast from the sun, and because of that, a lot of satellites just died, just fried. They fried out.
well, yeah, they got fried, right?
So like the sun isn't playing. So I don't know if you guys were in talks recently about the big solar flash event. I don't know if you've
No,
heard
Yeah,
of
I've
it
about
or
heard
two
talk
weeks
the
about it.
ago.
solar, but go ahead. Tell us about the solar event because the sun has been since last year shooting out really strong magnetic fields of energy to the Earth, and it's only been getting bigger. What do you think's going on with
So
that?
it was supposed to be, as far as I know, from all the information that I got, we were supposed to be having this year, but even the scientists or whomever is, up there knowing what's actually going on, doesn't really know because as you can, see what's going on in the world, things are being postponed all the time, and events that were supposed to be taken, they're not happening. So I believe maybe next year, maybe March, from March to August, we might be seeing this solar flash event. And we don't know what's
Yeah,
going to happen. Like, as far as I know, it's going to be like apocalyptic scenario
really.
because
And
there's
when
no,
is this
it's,
supposed, Castle? When's this
well,
supposed to happen?
there's just
Next
not
year?
technology. We're just not going to have technology.
Oh, you mean like a big EMP that just blasts everything out?
Well, basically, it's going to fry every electronics, every communication
And
systems, everything.
and where did you hear about this? Where's the source of the information?
So I have this source of information from some channelers that like very trustworthy channels, but also data from NASA and many other websites, like actually trying to understand what's going on with the sun. So recently they released a new report saying that the scientists cannot no longer predict sun's activity because just this week, for example, we had a blast from the sun and we could only detect a couple of seconds before it hit. So we just cannot know. Even the scientists cannot know no more.
Right. So when we talk about apocalypse, we can use it in different ways. One can take the word and look at it as a negative thing, or instead, I don't think apocalypse is really the word we should be using.
It doesn't
We could
necessarily
be,
mean like the end to me, I think. I just saw a new device that's being sold on, I don't know, this kind of online apps. It's like a lamp where you can fill the lamp with just salt and water and you can have light for days just because of, the chemistry between, the ions, whatever. So
no,
like technologies like that or simple things like that can actually, be the solution. So
mm,
if we look into the solutions like these, instead of thinking, the worst scenario about everything, I
right.
think I think that's, the best way to think about things.
And whatever's going to happen, and this is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. I'm CmdrAleon, your host. My co-host is James. I have Castle here from Brazil. So let me, kind of feed in a little bit here just to get people clear. Whenever or whatever potentially happens with NASA with their solo sun satellite. There's a satellite that monitors the sun. I watch it sometimes, and it's really interesting. It's actually a sun weather live radar in a sense. It actually monitors the sun and the frequency and the sunspots. I always found that interesting. So let's say there is this massive big sun thing hitting the Earth. It's not a negative thing. We're not being destroyed here. It basically, if anything, you can take that energy from the sun and elevate the frequencies in your body to activate your cellular structure. So from a cosmic understanding, which is where I'm going to put this, you can take the sun energy and elevate your consciousness. Your DNA can be activated So there's no, I'd rather not. I think we need to shy away from the word apocalyptic and look at it as being an opportunity when the sun comes, and when the sun does this, if it does do a really big solar storm. It's been doing a lot of solar storms this year and even last year. But as they get bigger and bigger, it's an opportunity for everybody to sit and meditate and take in the energy to elevate and activate and motivate yourselves
You
in a
couldn't be
very
more
positive
right.
way, I think. Say again?
You couldn't be more right.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Because what like the recent report that I read, I'm not sure if it was from NASA, was a scientific report. So they're saying because of the activity that we're seeing, it's just increasing. So the sun was supposed to have this some kind of blast. It was due, I think, 2012, I believe, that people were saying that was the end of the world. So apparently this it was due, so it hasn't happened yet, and it does. I do believe that it might activate some people, really make this some kind of ascension feeling, because the
Right,
sun really correlates with human activity. For
right.
instance, I read an article saying that depending on the solar flares, it might really make road rage. It induces road rage, like the sun's activity. So, like, if
Yeah, but
humans can be
again, we have
affected
to be
that
careful with
much,
that.
yeah, I know,
We have
but
to be
I'm not
careful with
saying that
that.
make like it has negative and positive impact. So, like, what I want to mean is that the sun somehow really affects humans in a way, in a sense, like even if it's for the positive path or the negative.
Yeah, and again, from my cosmic thing, where I come from, because I don't come from this planet, I look at this planet differently. I work with the Ashtar Command directly. I don't see anything negative at all. I see any solar activity affecting people's consciousness to uplift the consciousness. I don't know, all these things, wherever they're coming from, road rage, I don't know about any of that. I mean, you have road rage without any sun. If there was no sun, you might have people on the highway getting angry just because somebody, flipped them the bird or something. So what I'm going to say right here is very clearly, I don't see any of that happening. What I do see clearly is that any sun activity is a time for people to elevate their consciousness, and that's what people should be focused on. If the sun does a big deal thing, and we see the aurora borealis all over the world, and then people are affected by the sun. People are affected by the energies coming from the moon. There are people that I know, they go nuts on a full
Exactly.
moon or whatever. you know so I mean, it's up to the individual. If someone is going to, if let's say hypothetically this sun thing happens next year and whatever, it's an opportunity for those that want to take it to take in that energy and really activate your body and activate your consciousness and your cells or your cellular structure. That's the opportunity that every human being has on this planet. Everybody has
Right.
that
I believe
opportunity.
you're completely right, because I think we need to take this opportunity, and instead of freaking out or thinking negatively, we just need to,
Right.
live. We don't
I
know
know.
the
So my
Right.
whole
future. We
thing,
don't know
my whole
when
thing on
something bad's
right.
gonna happen. So let's just live. Enjoy your
Well, let
family. Enjoy your day.
right. So the thing is, let's not even project something bad. The word something bad is out of this vocabulary. Just throw it out of your consciousness. There's no something bad happening because nothing bad is happening. It's all a matter of perspective. And if people think something bad is going to happen, they can create that reality in their own house or in their own apartment or in their own place. But that doesn't mean that's going to happen to everybody else. That person might have things happening to them anyway from a lower vibrational frequency, and they have to deal with it, look in the mirror, and try to figure out how to better improve themselves as a part of this living system called Earth.
And
So
also
my whole thing is,
seek other people who have higher vibrations as well. Like you shouldn't be
well, yeah,
surrounded by
the
people
thing
who are
is,
draining you.
right. So, Earth is really not a prison. Person says your Earth is a prison. The only prison is the person that, when a person is not awake and is asleep, they're imprisoned in locking themselves in a state of not being awakened to a conscious state of understanding of what's going on. If a person is imprisoned, they imprison their own reality. People create their own realities on this planet. Many people do. If you have the reality that you want to create that is going to be going down a street where something terrible is going to happen, you create that reality. You project that reality. If you want to create the reality of peace, love, and understanding and being around people that are of high vibration, you will be with those people. It's all a matter of choice. We live in a free will universe. And because we do different things. And on this earth, a lot of things happen that, we can look at in our experience and say, why are they happening? We didn't come to planet Earth to experience war, to experience nuclear weapons, to experience people jumping on each other verbally. This is not what we came here for. But we experienced it, and we're to grow and be better people, better humans, better beings. And my whole thing is that people need to accent the positive. Let's throw out there's enough negative stuff, even on TikTok. There are people that are jumping on each other, and if that's what they want to do in their reality, they can do it. On our talk show, our whole thing is to let people come out of the closet, be positive, talk about their experiences. We all learn from each other from those experiences on my show. On my radio, we do the same thing. I'm all about bringing people up to a much higher state. And I tell people, don't listen to stuff on the internet. Don't listen to all these different channelers channeling things, whether it be positive or negative. Get in touch with yourself, because that's the one thing where truth will come from. If people
Yep.
activate within the higher self, I guarantee it. I can't say this strongly enough right now. People need to connect with themselves, not with every internet page, not with every YouTube page. They need to connect to themselves to activate themselves. That's what people need to do. That's the bottom line, man. If people don't do that, I can't force a person to be positive. They have to learn and look in the mirror and see what it is about themselves that they need to project differently.
And
That's
sometimes,
the deal.
Commander, it's swallowing a hard pill. Sometimes it's really about evaluating where we are in our lives, where we are spiritually, mentally, and physically, and
Right.
changing that. I was talking to somebody earlier about, she said she was on a diet, and I said, don't look at it as a diet. Look at it as you're changing your life and you're taking a step in the positive, and that
Right.
is where we all need to go. We got to accentuate the positive and
That's right.
eliminate the negative.
That's right. James knows. He's singing the song. It's just right on the money. So we need to just look at everything, look at ourselves every morning in the mirror and say, what kind of person, what kind of representation of a human being do I wish to be to our galactic brothers and sisters? I don't care if we have a mega solar storm. I look at it as a positive opportunity that will affect all of our consciousness. I look at it as a positive opportunity to excel in who we are. Isn't that what we're here to do? Aren't we here to become better than we've been before? Aren't we here to be better Earthians when we meet our space brothers and they come here and land their ships and they want to meet us? So how are we going to be the representation of what is out there coming here now? We have to get off of this trip of, all these negative things and all these conspiracies and all these people with the doom and gloom stuff out there. I don't even
Well,
look at that stuff.
I think that will depend on the type of a friend who is lending, because I believe the first contact, the perfect ones would be what are the blonde ones again? I forgot. I got a
Are you
blank.
talking about the Palladians?
The Pleiadians, yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
like
they will be the
they are
first
like
ones
the
coming.
most
That's gonna
fit.
be Yeah, they'll be the first ones actually making contact in a few years. That's been confirmed. I've confirmed that with a few people earlier in the year and even
Do
late
you think
last year.
do you think this is the 2026 agenda?
It's the
That
what
the
agenda? I'm
2027.
sorry.
So a lot of people are in talks about this new thing. It's not a new thing, but like it's a very strange situation that we don't really are certain about what's going to actually happen. Dr. Stephen Greer mentioned that something might really happen in 2026, and I also saw other people saying that we are due to 2026 if we don't change our our perspective and the way we're dealing with UFOs and
Whoa.
all this
Well,
new scenario, I would say.
Well, I know Dr. Stephen Greer, and I also heard his recording when he talked about that. I also met Dr. Greer and interviewed him in 1993 in New Hampshire when he was just early starting out with his organization. Um, I also know that from our insight in the Department of Defense here in the United States, a number of shows back, I asked her about 2027. And this comes directly from my inside contact. She has top security clearance. There's going to be an event in 2027 that's positive. Okay, I'm gonna really want to put that word in there, positive, where we're going to have a meeting, a starting of contact, which I do believe to be true. I don't know how many ships are coming from the Pleiades or the Pleiadian people, wherever they live in the universe or in our solar system or whatever, but they are specifically coming. I know from listening to Daryl Anka, who directly communicates with a being called Bashar of the Essassani civilization. I will say this, that that confirmation and our DOD's information about 2027 and the information I got last year from my contact off planet, because I don't channel anything. I've been talking with a space being before there was internet access. So what I'm getting is very direct information. I don't watch anything. I don't read anything. I just make sure my consciousness is clear so I get the communications direct, and whatever I get, I say directly word for word. So I want to
Yeah,
make it very clear here. I want to make
but
it
again, I
clear
don't want.
there is
Yeah,
going to be contact.
keep going.
Go ahead.
So I just want to make clear that I don't want to scare people saying, "Oh my God, the war is gonna end. We should," I don't. I'm not saying it's going to end, and I'm not saying that it's going to be apocalyptical. But some information I got from there's this public figure in Brazil, and it's a politician. It's a drag queen, but it's a politician. But it's a different drag queen because it's like a right wing drag queen, but it's more like to the center. Anyways, so this drag queen has friends who used to work at CERN or these laboratories,
Wow.
and they're saying that we only have 3 years on this planet. So they left their jobs and they're just living with their families and just living their lives because they don't know what's going to happen, but they know something's going to happen, especially with the climate. So something's going to happen with the planet regarding the climate. It's starting this year. At the end of this year, we're going to start seeing like stronger activity, especially with earthquakes, tornado, hurricanes, whatever. A lot of stuff like this happening. So people should just, be prepared with, with water
Right,
and,
but understand something.
safe places.
Understand something. There are earth changes that have been happening for decades. The earth changes aren't stopping. They're just different vibrational things of changes. So when they say they can say whatever they want, it doesn't mean what they're saying is true. In their particular vibrational frequency, where the people they're dealing with, that they're in touch with, that's what they say is going to happen. So, for me, when I hear that, I still operate in clear consciousness. That means I can't say to myself, oh, wow, now, they say that's going to happen. This is exactly my point. Just because somebody says something, because they're involved in CERN, doesn't mean it's going to affect all of us. There are earth changes happening. There are earth changes are not just earth volcanoes and earthquakes. There are also spiritual changes happening. There are spiritual awakenings happening. So when we talk about
Yeah.
earth changes, we have to talk about consciousness, not just about the solid rock, the volcano. We have to talk about us.
And I
We're
wanted to
changing.
tell Castle that we've collectively, as a human species, we've already shifted our timeline 3 times in the past 7 years. So those timelines, yeah, we can't have when those fear-based stuff comes out, we
Yeah,
have to hit it with positivity. We gotta
Exactly.
be the ones
right.
to protect the planet. And
That's
our
right.
collective energies and our prayer, we could call them prayers or whatever, that will shift the and I'm gonna tell you this. I never told this story before, but this is a true story. A few years ago, there was a hurricane. I'm in Florida, by the way, Castle. there was a hurricane that was going to hit right where I was living. And now I have multiple business locations with employees that I've got to tend to. So when a hurricane comes, we make sure we're tracking this thing very well so I can give my employees time to get home and prepare and shut down and all that stuff. And this storm was coming, and it was a Category 4 storm. And me and a group of other local spiritualists, one of them was an indigenous, one of them was a street shaman. We got together and we prayed and prayed. And I actually evacuated. I've been in Florida almost my whole adult life, and I never evacuated. And we evacuated and we prayed and prayed and prayed. And overnight, the storm the storm track shifted 85 miles in the opposite direction and totally took the storm away from us. And in my heart, and I've gone through every hurricane since 1998, and and it's one of my passions is tracking these things. And we've never seen such a jump that, in fact, it was supposed to hit us in Tampa, and it actually ended up shifting and hit, like I said, 85 miles, 90 miles north, and we were saved. And I believe that collective consciousness
Right.
protected us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And but those weird weather events are actually happening more frequent. For example, 2 days ago, we had the weirdest, I would say, storm I've ever seen in my entire life. I've even recorded. It caused a lot of damages in my town, but no one said anything in the news that this was going to happen because the forecast was just heat waves. We were supposed to just to have like sun shining all the time, but it was like I don't know if you've been to a hurricane and you've seen the strong winds, and that's literally what happened in my town for just 20 minutes. It destroyed a lot of things, and then just left the same way it came. And we were not supposed to have these things, but it left because a lot of people were started praying and wanting this thing to go away, so it moved forward faster. So the sky cleared just afterwards. It was the
That's the
weirdest
point. You
thing.
see, it's all about consciousness. You see, if we collectively, when I do a C5, we have a contact group here called the Ashtar Command Contact Program. There are C5 groups all over the world. And the thing is, when people come together for positive things, like a C5, for example, and vector in and invite our space brothers to sow their ships, it works. You know why it works? Because it's a collective grouping of people with positive intention. We have more power in our consciousness than we don't even know about. The human beings have more power in their consciousness that's unawakened for billions and billions and billions of Earth people. If everyone comes together and makes a focus and clears their consciousness about everything that's clobbered into their brain for the day, they can make things happen. Whether it be what James is talking about, whether it be us doing a CE5 with 20 people and inviting our space brothers, they will come because we're clearly focused on them, not on 1,000 other things that were on TV or on the news or whatever. When we focus with our intentions positively, we will have a positive result in whatever it is that we wish to have a positive result in. It's an ebb and flow situation. We have to make the choice of whether we're going to get sucked up into things that are potentially fear-based negativity or whether we're going to be liberated in our consciousness and say, no, that stuff doesn't exist in my mind, in my consciousness, and it doesn't. If we project a positive energy, we will get back reciprocated 10 times over that positive energy.
That's right.
It all
Yeah,
depends
it's
whether you
something
put your
similar
energy.
like karma, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you get what you give, and you give what you
Exactly.
get.
I
So that's,
give with goodness all the time, even if I get crapped on.
yeah. I know,
Yeah.
James, you do. I mean, you really do.
I
Hey
just
Hey,
Not
remember
Grace.
one
exactly in
one
a
of
metaphorical
information.
way.
Hey.
Hey, Grace, and let's bring Grace in here.
Hey
So, Grace,
guys.
you've been
Hey,
listening, and I know you have some wisdom as well. So, I wanted to bring you into the discussion here.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, hi, Castle. Great having you. Hey,
Thank
Rabbit,
you.
how are you?
Hello, 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 my darling. Hello, my baby. Hello, my sci-fi gal.
Yeah, that is so funny. Oh my God, you are too much. No,
Grace, oh, I just wanted to tell you real quick, and
yeah.
everybody in the audience, I actually got an offer to be on the new Zombieland 3 movie today, and I turned it down.
What?
What
Wow.
kind of
Yeah.
movie?
Zombieland 3.
Oh,
Really?
you would have played a good character.
Oh, I love
Nah,
that. What?
I don't want to get involved with Hollywood.
You could have been
Yeah.
the liberator from outer space to turn people back into living human beings.
Yeah,
Wow. Is that?
I had a talk with, I spoke with Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah.
No,
It's
you're
been
Wow.
better off
cool.
not doing that stuff. You don't need that.
Nope. I just wanted to share that. I don't know why singing that song made me think of that memory from today.
Yeah.
Well, any
Well,
That
project
Grace.
that doesn't have any demonic symbols, you should go because demonic symbols are a no-go.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
that's
Grace.
why I stay away.
interesting.
And now,
Interesting.
Grace, what would you like to say? What would you
Like,
like to bring into our
uh,
conversation on encounters here?
well, I actually came on a little bit late, but I did catch a little bit of what Castle was talking about earlier on climate change and weather patterns, and I do agree with what Commander was saying about there's been weather patterns and weather changes and all types of climate change have happened for thousands of years
Yeah.
on the planet. And I think there was someone in the comments that mentioned that too. And I think it might have been, oh yeah, it was Levesque
Yeah.
354.
Yeah, love
He
it.
he also mentioned the same exact thing I was thinking,
Hmm.
that the weather patterns have been, we've had oh, here it is. The Earth was cooler with higher CO2,
Right.
and without CO2, all plants would die.
Hmm.
So I think that the thing is, it's what we connect to on a cellular level, like what we actually believe is what we bring. Uh, and
Yeah.
I happen to live in Florida for a while as well, and I experienced a hurricane. The last hurricane that we had, Ian, was pretty intense, and
Yeah,
it hit Fort Myers pretty heavily, and it did immense damage in Naples.
it did.
Hmm.
Yep.
We I had never seen anything like it, and you don't realize how vulnerable you are until you experience something like that. So
Yeah,
I
it's so
Yeah.
wouldn't,
scary.
yeah, I'm never gonna deny that that's
Hmm.
not a reality that we live. We live on a planet. We have, weather patterns and all types of climate indicators, and the thing is that it can be it's a reality. It's something I've lived through. And I'm from the Northeast in the United
Hmm.
States, and I have seen hurricanes up here as well.
Oh, yeah. We've seen them up here.
We've had Sandy, which was
Yeah, but you guys
extremely,
get those nor'easters and you guys get
yes,
wild
Oh, we
patterns
got wild
coming out of
weather.
that
We do.
Arctic.
We do up here. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, we really do. We really do. So, these are things that the country too, like overall, our part of the world, the country experiences a lot of changes in weather patterns. And now what's happening in the world, and I've been watching the weather, that we do get these sudden and very fast fluctuations of weather patterns
Yeah, we do.
changing and dropping in. And like you just explained, Castle, about you had like a sudden windstorm come through. Those are all phenomenon that takes place inside the
Yeah,
weather. Those are all like
honestly,
weather
honestly, nothing really
phenomenons.
got more destroyed because buildings around here they're all brick made. They're not like wooden like
Yeah.
structures. So I believe if we had wooden structures, we would have much more damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that
Yeah.
those are happening all over the world, which is it just I think it explains a lot about how our Earth has, it's speeding up and everything is, I feel, and I don't know if you guys can agree with this or not, I feel that things are coming at us much quicker than they ever have.
Oh, they are. Most definitely are.
Yeah,
Things are speeding.
I thought about mentioning that, like if something bad is gonna happen to you or something good or whatever thing that's happening, a lot of other things are happening all at the same time, and like
Mm-hmm.
a
Hmm.
lot of people are feeling overwhelmed with all this information because you don't know what to do next.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So the real, and this is a challenge for everyone, it's being able to go bring us real ourselves back into the center,
Right.
and remain in a place of, conscious Christ consciousness, a centering of self, just to bring it back in, reel it back in every time, bring it back into the center, because we can very easily get lost. You know,
Yeah.
It's like a
Looking.
parent trying to recover its lost son, right? Trying to make you
absolutely.
go to the pathway.
Yes, yes, it's all faiths point in that direction. I mean, most faiths that talk about, recentering, right? Catholicism talks about centering in prayer. Buddhism talks about, the middle way.
Sure,
We
Shintoism, all of it, they all have the same
concepts, yeah.
mantra. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it really, and probably our world, our the tinfoil hat realm, we have our own way of centering, right? We've come to find that, through our CE5 experience, we've learned that we can center ourselves and make peaceful contact and have a safe and peaceful experience and not have the chaos that comes from, listening to what this one's saying and that one's saying. Because if
Right.
It's
you,
interesting. It's interesting what you're saying because if you think about the Bible, back in the time, people used to hear divine voices in their head, but no one was going to be called crazy. But today, if you do so, they call you crazy, or if you channel, or if you,
Oh, that's a
whatever.
very good point.
yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. We were just talking about that last night
Right.
where people were called witches because they were considered witches because they believed something that was outside of the understanding. What
Yeah.
the static quo were believing in one particular faith, and they did not believe it, so they were called witches. And it was just another terminology that was being used, in a derogatory manner, and
Hmm.
that is not, it's not appropriate in any way. It's
Yeah,
just
now,
what people
back
do
then
from
it was
fear.
witches. Now it's
Absolutely.
conspiracy
Now
theorists.
it's and also people say if you believe in UFOs or whatever, you see people trying to use the tinfoil hat argument.
Yep.
I met a
Well,
few of those
that's
people, and what I
that's an
would do to
interesting
them
topic.
is what I would do to the tinfoil hat jokers that would do that. I'd say, you know, I basically discuss with them and say, okay, you're going to say that. Is that your best defense against the idea that UFOs or extraterrestrials exist? If that's all you got, you're going to put me to sleep, because if that's all you got is a tinfoil hat to tell me, then you better get something else together there, man, because you're going to lose that
Yeah,
battle
but
pretty quick.
this topic has something interesting to it because um, if in fact we get this contact, there is another problem that's going to be created, which is people
Ontological
creating,
shock.
people creating a religion for these beings just because they seem superior, because that's the nature of humans, and unfortunately, I think this is going to happen because humans
Well,
are just like that.
Well,
let me
Castle,
tackle that.
I
Let
That's
me
was going
tackle
to
very
jump in.
interesting. Yes.
let
Castle,
me
what
tackle that.
is,
Let me tackle that, Castle, for a minute in the sake of discussion. I don't believe that's going to happen. I believe what is going to happen, because when first of all, even the people I talk to, my contact off planet, and even the people, my dear friend Athena, who does not have TikTok, who's Venusian, and she's been around since the time of the contactees of the 60s who wrote books that are out of print. These people were taken aboard Venusian spaceships with human beings that were like us, that were spiritually advanced. The one thing the space people don't want people on Earth to do is look at them as any kind of god. They're not.
No,
They don't
yeah,
want to be
yeah,
looked that way.
you're right. But
People have to
like
understand. So I
think
have a
about the
message.
colonization. Some
But
ancient civilizations back here in South, the whole Central America to the South America, when they saw the Europeans, some of these tribes they used to think that they were gods. So it would be something like similar to that.
Right, like
yeah,
the
but the difference is
Anunnaki.
because but
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, what I'm trying to get
No,
to
but
the
the
point of
Anunnaki they
saying
let
here.
themselves to be portrayed as gods. They wanted that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah, but
only difference.
I've got to make a really important point here for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
When the space people do come, I tell people that say, when people on Facebook, I've been on there for a number of years since 2009 on my radio show, I try to stress the point that when the space people come, the men and women from other planets come here, they don't want to be looked at and treated as gods. They're just like us. The only difference is they've had more time to advance spiritually on their planets for eons of time, where we're just coming into that realm. They don't want to land their ships and say, now everyone get down and pray to the space people. That's not what it's about. If people think that's what it's about, they're missing the boat. They
Mm-hmm.
want to be united as cosmic family. They're our cosmic family. If we look at them as family and not as gods, that's what we should be doing. If people start religions based on space people, that's wrong. They don't understand then what the purpose is of what's going on here. It's not to be worshiping people from other planets. It's to bring
Right.
us together
Yeah,
in unity as one brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers from all planetary worlds, galactically living in peace. That's the message, not to
Well,
worship them.
the only way that humanity will break from that, Commander, is if when we have contact, we have the full disclosure. We'll get the full story because they've been here for since the beginning of humanity. So we'll
Yeah,
know.
billions of years,
Hey,
billions.
wait a
yeah,
second.
and
Did
humans they
you
never find a
guys
balance.
right? Did you guys create this? And did Noah do this? And Moses and Abraham? We'll have these answers, and then people will find out. Oh wow, it was just the ETs the whole time. But
Yeah,
it's
the thing
gonna
intrigued
take
me the
that
most was the
moment.
Anunnaki stories because the
It's gonna
Anunnaki
take
stories are
that
very similar
moment.
to the Bible.
Yeah, a lot of things in the Bible. This is one thing I teach people being from another planet. And I came out of the closet years ago that I'm from Mars. I work in cosmic Christ consciousness. Is that people need to throw away all their religious books. They need to just throw them out the window in order to be, at least that's the beginning of some freedom consciously in their mind. Once people throw out all their Bibles, all their churches, all their temples, all their mosques, everything that they have that they've created on earth, all their cultish things or whatever, once people start throwing all that stuff away, they can start focusing on themselves.
And God
Uh,
doesn't want to be worshipped, right?
no,
He
God created the
doesn't.
multiverse. God
Yeah,
created
but
all the
he
multiverse.
wouldn't like that. Like he wouldn't like to be worshipped. Like the this worshiping came from humans. We invented that.
Humans created religions to control people. Humans
Exactly.
created politics to control people. Humans created companies to control people, taxes to control people. We've created so many things on this planet to control humanity from being free cosmically. And
And
now,
also
uh, co-
humanity was back in a time like ancient civilizations. You can read that people were much more enlightened back in a time, but less technological advanced. And now we're the
Correct.
opposite. That we are less like enlightened and much more advanced because we can see a lot of people with this negativity agenda from Hollywood, from the media, because this pushes their agenda. But we as a collective, we're trying to go to the opposite
right.
direction, go into the light.
Right. We're trying and we will because the thing is, I've always stated this for over 20 years on my radio show and on my TV show here. I'm here to bust people's matrix. What does that mean? If you're
That's a
living
lot.
in a world that you believe in 3D things as being the greatest thing ever, if you believe in religion, the religion you have as being your best religion, your best rabbi, your best pastor, I'm here to bust the matrix of your belief system. And I don't care who you are. I came here from Mars. I have no qualms about what I'm doing here. I'm here to shake people up. I'll listen very carefully, but I will shake people up. And people that know me know that's what I do. I do it because it's what has to be done. Because if I don't do it, who's going to do it? There might be other people around the world doing it. I don't doubt it. But I'm here to bust people's belief systems, shake their minds up, get them to be rattled a little bit, and then finally go in and meditate and find out who they are for the first time in their lives on earth. Find out who you
Well,
are.
Layla, Jesus is not to be scoffed at.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus was a real man. Jesus was the ultimate being of light. Jesus was what we should aspire to be. And
Right,
the problem is religion has has warped the message,
right,
the ideals. Like Levick was
right,
saying, Levick said that religion can liberate and enlighten. And I would
Yes.
say that within the religion, the the tenets of it, joy, love, health, peace, kindness, understanding, acceptance, love, all of that is what matters.
Yes,
right.
and
That
Jesus
is
and James, Jesus said we will do what he could do and more.
right.
So,
Right.
this is the thing. I think the overall consensus, I was just having a conversation with a local Buddhist couple that have two shops in my area, very, very popular, very busy shops. And she said that her experience this summer was horrible because
Hmm.
she says a lot of the people that were coming into her shop were just unhappy, just really unhappy and really, really uh, unhinged. And I said, we're the minority. We really are, and it's
Right.
really we're like the way showers.
No,
We
This
are the
Jesus
way
did not
shower.
lie.
Nope,
It's up. Go ahead.
mhm. That go ahead, Commander.
No, I was going to say, I want you to finish your comment because you weren't done yet.
And
Oh,
Jesus was Enki, wasn't it?
say it again. I'm sorry.
Apparently, Jesus was Enki.
Did you say the word
That's
Enki?
Yeah,
that's that's
I don't
What
that's
does
even
been
know
that
what that
mean?
means.
speculated. That's been speculated. Mm-hmm.
it's not that it's speculated. It's more like we have to remember that Jesus was a shapeshifter. So basically, he could be from any religion. When you read other religions, like when he mentions something, a figure that's similar to Jesus, he could be actually dead. But since he could shapeshift, we would never know.
Well, I
So
don't know about that. I'm
here's what I
yeah.
want. Here's when I want to say something. I'm going to bust the matrix right here again. Jesus came here beyond earth as a star being. Now, religion put him in a little crib in a manger, according to their biblical stories, and then he was a carpenter. But the thing is, just like any star seed in modern day history, anyone out here who is a star seed, the commander's going to say this right now. You came here from other planets. You came out of the closet. There are people in my show that said, I'm an Arcturian, I'm this, I'm that. They remember who they are. And they should remember who they are. If they remember who they are, they should remember who they are. Jesus Christ, also known as Sananda off planet, it was a very advanced and is a very advanced spiritual being of light. He's not a shapeshifter. He came here in physical
Mm-hmm.
human form. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell a story right now, and I've told this before in a workshop I was in, and people need to hear this from me. All right. I listen a lot, but I'm going to also blow your minds a little bit here. When I did my workshop earlier this year, I took people on a journey off planet to a big ship as big as the earth, a golden ship. I talk about the golden ship. And if you know how to do, if you learn what to do in what I teach, you'll go there and you'll meet your cosmic family. I'm going to get to the story because it's part of it. In that workshop, when people came back, I had everybody in a circle keeping a journal of their experiences. I won't get into their experiences, but I'm giving you the short story. We had a woman in the group that was crying in pain. So I go around each person at the end of the workshop with my crystals and with the palm of my hand, and I bless everybody. I do it every single workshop. I sat down across from this woman, I found out she has sciatica. Her whole body was in pain. Okay, so this is related to the word Jesus. All right. I closed my eyes. I said, give me a moment. I'm closing my eyes for some reason. I see a form coming towards me in my consciousness, like a golden orange glow of a body. No beard, no mustache, just this beautiful energy in the form of a body. Came right into my consciousness. Now, I don't know if it enveloped into my physical being. I can't put that into any 3D concept that people will understand. But I will tell you this. I asked the woman across me that was in pain, if you let me come over, may I come over? May I come over? Because I saw she was in so much pain. I went over to her. I said, you're not going to have any more pain anymore. I'm being told you won't have any more pain. I closed my eyes, put my hand on top of her. I close my eyes. I lose track of everything in the room. I don't even know the room's there. I'm just gone. A couple minutes later, or whatever, I take my hands away from her head, and I hear myself whispering to her that you're now healed. I go back to my seat across from her, and she's crying. And I said, I'm telling you, I heard that I was telling you you're healed. And I said, how do you feel? She said, the pain is gone. The sciatica, this pain in her body was completely gone. So what I learned is that I was a conduit for the cosmic Christ. I used the word cosmic and Christ. Not Christ, cosmic Christ. Because that's what Christ is. Christ was using me at that point in my workshop. I didn't call on anything to happen. It just
And
happened.
then, so in the same way that the Christian religion, quote, invokes the Holy Spirit, it's the same thing. It really is. The problem is people find religion, but they never find God.
Yeah, they find all
And
kinds of
that's
religion
true.
on earth. They
Well,
find every religion in the book.
I think when we start understanding more about dimensions and what they actually really mean, we understand that when Jesus was actually here, wasn't really here. He just took like a form that we could actually see and interpretate as a human being.
Sure.
Right. He
That's
took
the
a human
reason why
form as
he ascended to
as
a
a
higher
sorcerer. Yeah.
dimension.
And that was
Yeah, he
why
did.
in the Bible they had to explain it in God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the reason why they call it like that. Because when you understand 4D, 5D, whatever, you see that
Right.
3D can never see 4D, and 4D can never see 5D, but 4D can see everything past of that. Like
Right.
we can see 2D and beyond. So I
They
think
don't understand omnipotence.
exactly, and
Mm-hmm.
we would never see these beings like that, like higher dimensional beings, the way they actually are, because we just can't.
Yeah. So listen, I have a great news story that I just was looking at today. I want to share with you guys.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so it's coming from the BBC World News, and
Hmm.
they're actually considering an alien and UFO Bermuda Triangle explored in a new Netflix documentary. And this documentary was based off of a sighting that was seen in 1977. And you'll find this interesting, Commander, because it says it all happened back in 77 when the Cold War was at its height and Star Wars and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And
Hmm.
so the Spielberg people are the ones interested in putting together this documentary.
Hmm.
It's
Wow.
based on a flying saucer seen by a guest house, a 7-foot alien-like figure coming out of a hedge, and a cigar-shaped UFO near a schoolyard.
Cigar
Wow.
shaped.
It's cigar-shaped. So
Wow.
Interesting.
I guess it would be
I
like
know
a,
a lot about cigar shaped UFOs.
it would sort of be like a Tic Tac we were talking about
That
the other night,
Yeah.
you know?
Grace, I think that
Yeah,
comes
but
out
the
in
Tic
two
Tacs are
days.
humans.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it comes out the 27th, so tomorrow
Okay. Oh,
on
awesome.
Oh,
Netflix.
I'm really looking forward to seeing this
Is
because
that
it's a
coming on what
oh,
channel is that going to
did
be
you
on?
see the new show coming on Netflix called Reptile?
No. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's a documentary by Steven Spielberg on Netflix. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, Alien
If
and
Wait,
you're
the
gonna
so
go,
so
UFO.
Netflix is going to release a bunch of UFO related content then?
They're going to start. Well, this is a documentary
That
that
is
they're doing,
interesting.
isn't it? They're doing it based on a story called Broadhaven Triangle. And it
Hmm.
says that children witnessed, basically, this was 45 years later, 10-year
yeah,
olds who reported the strange sightings during lunchtime at Broadhaven Primary School still insist this was no childish hoax. The David Davies, 57 now, says he initially skeptical when he saw when his school friends rushed back into the classroom claiming to have seen a spaceship. So it was a group of them.
Hmm.
And so now it was
Sorry.
it's yeah, it says there's a drawing from when he was 10 of
wow,
the craft.
What?
And it's like a child's drawing in the article. It's such a
yeah,
great
interesting.
drawing. And he has he has the name of the school underneath the ship. And then on the top of the ship it says UFO. It's the sweetest thing ever.
Really?
But I just love the fact, I mean, I grew up during, I know, Commander, I'm going to make another point because you
Go ahead.
discussed this the other day
Yeah,
about the Cold War. And I grew
yeah.
up, I was about, I'm not going to say how old I was, but I was young during the Cold War events. And I remember just being, it was so all you could hear about on the news at daily was that uh, arms race, the Cold War, and it was it was being fed, basically fed to us through programming daily.
Constantly, yeah. It was constant
Hmm.
programming. You're right.
It was really difficult to grow up with that because I would be in fear every day that the world was going to end, and
Yeah.
that we were going to get nuked. And that was basically what we, as 10-year-olds were, or 11-year-olds were talking about.
That's what we were being told. I mean, I remember as a kid, with all the UFO sightings and when I had my experiences with the space people, on the same token, we had very limited channels on TV. We had only a few channels. There was no cable. Everything was tubes. And then we had a few channels and everything was during the Cold War. And, until later on, did we understand that there was also intervention by our space brothers that were shutting down nuclear facilities and nuclear silos all over the world because we were on the brink of blowing up the earth.
Absolutely.
Many people here were not even alive in the 60s,
And
maybe
we
even in the, yeah,
Yeah, and what's so cool about this documentary is it goes on to talk about
And it's
other children who've had similar experiences within that region.
yeah,
So it talks about maybe three or four different people who have had sightings and also saw creatures. They saw
I
actual.
think these kids are being contacted because I believe kids they could be potentially easier
Hmm.
to you know enlighten their frequency to increase everything.
Yes, I
It would be
agree with
easier
that.
for them to do that. That's the thing. I believe.
Yeah, I believe
now,
definitely there's something to it.
the
is
name of the
the,
show is called Encounters
okay,
on
so
Is
Netflix.
Come
I'm
on.
going to have to counter, I'm going to have to contact that network and tell them they're stealing my name. That can't
I
happen.
I know.
Encounters.
I can't believe that.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
I can't believe this.
Wow. That talk
Well, if
about
they're
the
going to call it
irony.
encounters, they're going to have to hire the commander or give me some slice of the money for my show.
We're
Okay,
gonna have
guys.
to
That's how
I
it's
go to
think
going.
Steven
I think the
Spielberg.
reptilian agenda is being pushed much harder because I think October 6th is going to be released this reptile TV show. It's a TV series based on a serial killer, and they're investigating the serial killer. But apparently, the serial killer is actually a reptilian.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
I don't know anything about that, but
So that's like
uh,
sounds
So
more
they
fear-based
have
to
Benicio del
me.
Toro, Justin Timberlake, Alicia Silverstone, Michael Pitt, and Sky Ferreira. Also, a lot of
So
big
they're
names.
mainstreaming fear and they're including the
right, that's what they're doing.
reptilians.
Well, we
Yeah,
don't
they're
have to
gonna
watch.
make you
So
fear them.
we don't
I'll
have to
still
watch
watch
that
it.
kind of stuff. we could just turn off the
Yeah.
TV set and say, no, just
James.
we don't have to promote that kind of creation by Hollywood people. They can just watch it on their own TV and sit in the room together and say, how come no one's watching this show? Well, because it's fear-based. Why would we watch it? It's just like in Hollywood for many years, like the War of the Worlds, when that was before TV, they had the War of the Worlds thing, and everybody thought the world was being attacked and invaded. Then you've had movies about invasions by ETs coming to Earth in Hollywood. They fear-based
Yeah, they want
movies.
to portray it as the bad guys.
Right. So people need to boycott any negative movies that come out about, ETs coming to gobble you up and take you
Yeah.
into a cave or something. Don't even get your consciousness into those things, folks. Stay away. Don't pay your money to see movies or
Don't buy
series.
into the fear.
Don't buy into the fear. Absolutely not. None of it.
That's the motto of tonight. Don't buy into the fear, my friends.
And that's
Very
So,
James,
true.
our singer
Commander,
on the
I
show, our
have
co-host.
another information for you. So,
Yeah.
remember about the lost city in the Amazon?
Yeah.
So I have this for you. I think all of you are going to be very shocked with this information. And I recently got this information, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. So there is this stone, this rock in the northeast Brazil that is dated very, very ancient, and it has 4
Mhm.
different ancient writings, including Egyptian, Sumerian, and other too.
Wow.
Northeast Brazil, a rock with 4 different types of languages, ancient languages, and they're all dated really ancient. Like they're not new. There's no way they're new.
Yeah.
Especially because Brazilians, they barely can speak Portuguese. They're gonna write Egyptian. Like no one knows how to write down Egyptian.
Right.
Nobody's out there carving hieroglyphs in the middle of the night.
Right. In the
Exactly.
middle of a jungle.
So let me see if I can find like a date, estimated date. So apparently it was found November 3rd, November 30th in
Mhm.
1944.
Wow.
I actually remember reading about that.
Yeah,
I've
but I
seen
don't
that.
know how old this thing is. I just cannot
Yeah.
find. But that's
Where?
very weird.
All right, guys, we all got to jump the rabbit hole on this one. We got to go find some research.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah,
Tell
So
we
me
have
they're
to.
where? What
saying,
area?
oh, they're
I
saying
don't have
that
my
it
computer
could
with me,
have.
so I'm relying on everyone else.
So the rock might have about 6,000 years or more.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that.
You know,
So
when I heard that story, I thought it was fake.
archaeologists from France came down to investigate and confirm that's around 6,000 years old.
There it is.
The
Wow.
Six
archaeologists
thousand
confirmed
year
it.
old rock discovered. Oh no, that was in Tennessee.
I'm glad you brought that up,
That's
Castle,
crazy.
because I heard about that rock years ago, and I thought it was just a fake thing because I never saw it, and honestly, I never even thought to look it up
I never heard of that.
again. But now I'm gonna have to jump into the rabbit hole again on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is crazy.
And I want
so
to
they
just
found.
also
Go ahead,
mention to
Commander.
people as we're getting deep into this, if anybody does have any sighting reports or visitations on encounters, because we're dealing with a lot of ancient discussion here of the possibilities of all these ancient civilizations and so forth, which is fascinating. So if you want to come in and share a story with us too of any extraterrestrial visitations, contacts, you can have 200 plus followers. I want you to come in. I know Chris wants to come in, and we'll bring him in, but I also want to bring in some people with encounter stories. We'll have Chris
Mhm.
come in here, and we're also going to invite more people. So I want to mix it up a little bit on the stuff here. Again, UFO UAP has information. I
Oh
can
yeah,
bring UFO UAP in.
UFO has a
We're
good
bringing UFO.
story to share.
We got
Hey,
Chris
Chris.
in here, and we got UFO
Hey
UAP
guys.
coming in. We got Chris
I've been
first,
following you
Chris,
live, Chris. I've
Hey,
been
Chris,
watching.
we were
and then we
watching
got
Have you?
you
UFO
run from the
UAP.
police.
Oh
We were
yeah, did
watching
you
you
see that?
live.
I had
Oh
Oh,
my
3,000 people watch me at
gosh.
one time. It's
That
crazy.
was
All right. Well,
amazing. As
now
soon as the
Chris, we have
police showed up.
Since we have a lot of people, we have Castle in Brazil, we have Skip the Grace, my friend here with our UFO, our Ashtar Command Group in Connecticut, down Rabbit Hole, my co-host. We have Chris on here, who will go first. Then we're going to bring in my guest, UFO UAP, with a UFO story as well. So we have a lot of
Wait,
stuff going on here tonight.
we're gonna have to
Chris,
make an
take it away.
executive decision. We should make UAP go first because Chris is gonna got a big one for us. They're gonna need some
Yeah,
time.
let him go. Let him go. Let him go first.
Okay, UFO
Yeah,
UAP, go
Chris
ahead.
we're gonna
What would you
close it
say?
out with Chris.
How you doing?
Hi
How's
there.
everyone doing?
Good. How are
We're
you?
doing well, and yourself?
Good, good, good.
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you guys. Man, this show is amazing. My name is Luis.
Hi, Louise.
Louise, nice to meet you, Louise.
Thank
Nice
you
to meet
guys.
you.
I'm from California, Central Valley. I'm in the desert, so I see UFOs every day, and I got over 100 videos. And I have a story back
I
in
bet.
May 12, 2014. I met a guy, all made of light. He was really tall, maybe 12 feet tall. He was all made of
Wow,
light. He was a white man with blue eyes and golden hair, around 20 years old. He,
really?
yes, he said he was coming from the Pleiadians. They
Pleiadians,
they
Pleiadians.
have they have 39 planets that form the galactic force. And then he had a ship in the parking lot, and he asked me to come with him. So I did. So I
Whoa.
so
Wait,
I
wait,
got on
wait.
that.
Are you saying you were physically taken aboard a spaceship?
Not physically, but it felt like it. I was going through a surgery, and my soul came out, and they were there,
Oh,
standing in the
oh, okay.
room at the operating room. But they asked me to go to the parking lot, and they had a ship there. So we hopped in it, and we flew to the sun through a portal. We went in the sun, and we came out on the other side, like in a different dimension. It's big
Yeah.
open space, and a big open space, and there was a giant blue planet, and they took me there. And he says that I belong there, that we are the same, we were brothers, and that not to ever forget where I come from. That
Now now I'm going to try to break it more understandably. You're in an operating room in a hospital, correct?
correct,
The Palladian, so you left during that point, which is definitely possible, you left your body, you were alive, but you left your body, and that's when you saw the Palladian people, correct? The ones that you just
correct.
described?
So when they injected me with the anesthesia, to put me out, it was a 14-hour surgery, one of nine, because I had nine major surgeries. I lost a leg on an accident. I used to be a trucker. So 5,000-pound pallet took my left leg out. So I ended up in the
Wow.
hospital. When they injected me with that medicine, to put you out, some anesthesia, and they put me out, I feel like my body came out of my body. I don't know how to explain that. My body fell down, and then I opened my eyes. The room was all white. It was full of light, no doctors, no nurses. On my
Hmm.
right hand side, there was a priest. There was a Filipino priest, maybe around 40 years old. He was all dressed in black, and he was
Oh,
on the
wow.
right. He was on the right hand side of my hands. And I was looking at him, but we was not opening our mouth to speak. We was just looking at each other with the eyes, and we was talking.
Hmm.
And he asked me if I believe in the Creator, in God. So I answered yes. And then he asked me if I believe on his son, and I answered yes. And then he asked me if I wanted to speak a little bit about them, and I answered yes, but with pain. I was moaning like yes, it was so painful still. I don't know why. So
Wow.
he approached me, and then he grabbed my hand. He grabbed my right hand, and then he said, "To tell you the truth, I'm here because God sent me to see you." And he want me to tell you that he loves you unconditionally, like you have no idea. He loves you like too much, and he wants you to know that everything is gonna be okay after you leave this hospital. But
Wow.
he said, I want you to go to the parking lot, and somebody is waiting for you at the parking lot. So I asked the priest, can I walk? I say, my leg is gone. He said, of course you can walk. He goes, sit down. And I sit down on that stretcher where I was getting surgery at. I sit down and I started looking at myself, checking my body out. I was all made of light myself.
Now
So
this is why you were out of your body in the operating table, correct? In the
Oh.
hospital.
correct. So then the priest,
Wow.
he grabbed my right hand and he said, give him maybe 10 seconds. He was gonna do something. So he closed his eyes and I'm looking at his face to what he's doing, but I can hear him what he's saying, but he's not opening his mouth. But he's speaking like in a right, like I don't know, Arabic from Arab, I don't know, Israeli language. Like I couldn't
Arabic
understand.
or yeah. Yeah.
Yes, correct. He was talking like that to somebody, and then I heard my name. He said Luis, and then blah 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 Luis, and then he opened his eyes, and I asked him. I said, "What are you doing?" And he said he was speaking to the Father directly, and he said that the Father was looking at us what he was about to do to me. So he grabbed my right hand and he put us.
Hold on, slow down just a minute. Can somebody mute their mic because there's some feedback or noise? I'm not sure whose thing is getting the feedback. Try again. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So
You
he
yeah, go ahead, UFO.
so he said that God was telling him that he was watching what he was doing to me, the priest. So the priest gave me a small ball of light, like the size of a marble, on my right hand. And then he closed it, and then he tapped my hand 3 times, like tap, tap, tap. And he said, "You're going to be just fine, Luis. Use this to communicate with us from now on. So now I want you to go to the parking lot, and they are waiting for you." So I walked. Well, he left first. He left in front of me. He opened the door and walked out. He was all dressed in black as a
Yeah,
priest.
as a
He
priest.
left. Yes. And then he left. So I walked after him. I opened the doors and I'm walking through a long hall, like a long hall. And at the end, you can see a light. So when I go up to the light, there was a medical minivan on the loading dock, loading up 6 bodies. 6 bodies
Hmm.
wrapped up on sheets, on white sheets.
Wow.
When I see those 2 men loading up those bodies on that white minivan, I'm asking them what are they doing, but they don't hear me and they don't see me and
Yeah.
they walk through me. They walk through me, they ignore me, and I'm like, "What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing?" So, anyways, they load up 6 bodies, 3 on each side of the white van because I saw it all. I was just standing there watching them do their
Yeah.
work. And then they closed their doors, the back doors of the minivan, and they left with those bodies. So I said, "Well, the priest told me to go to the parking lot. That's what I need to do." So I continue
Yeah.
to walk to the parking lot. When I get to the back of the parking lot of the hospital, I can see the hospital. I can see the streets. I can see the lights. Everything
Right.
is the same, but it's all made of light.
Right. And
When I
you're seeing that because you're out of your body. Now you're astrally out of your physical body, which is on the table in the hospital. You're
correct,
having that would be called a near death experience. But
correct, correct,
you're not dead. You're actually left your body, and now you're able to see all these other things. Correct?
correct, correct.
No, I don't think this was a near-death experience, guys. I think this was something more. Go
I
ahead,
don't know.
continue. Finish.
I don't know how to.
Keep
I don't know how
telling.
to explain it. But when I get to the parking lot, there was a small spaceship, like a cigar shape. It was long, like a submarine, but it was floating 5 feet
Hmm.
from the ground.
Wow.
Like a, but it was all made of light, and it had like a golden belt around the ship. So the door opened up, and a very tall white man comes out, and he said, "Hello, Luis. My name is Gabriel. I'm here to show you something. Let's go." So we all got in the ship. The inside of the ship was all made of light, white pearl seats, three
Wow.
rows, 3 rows on each side of the craft, I guess, because it was long, like a half, like the half the size of a submarine. But it was
Wow.
all white, made of light on the inside. And Gabriel is sitting right next to me, and he told me to sit on the window. So I'm sitting on the window, and we take off.
Hey,
We took off.
Gabriel. Hey, Luis, tell us what kind of personality did Gabriel have?
Yeah, that's interesting. What was that?
He was a 20-year-old white man, beautiful looking, with blue eyes and golden hair. He had a blue shirt stuck to his body, like really, really slim. and he had like two wings on the left side of his chest, like a pin with two wings. He was really peaceful. He spoke to me really softly with a lot of love. I felt all that kindness coming out of him, you know?
Oh, wow.
That
So,
is amazing.
Yeah, that's a cool story. My
so
Yeah,
when,
goodness.
so you're sitting next to him. You're
correct,
sitting at the window.
correct. And we left. And we left. We pierced through the sun in a portal. And he
In a
told me
portal.
that, yes, he told me that in the sun, we have brothers made of light, and they are the sons of the sun.
The sons of the sun.
Hmm.
Correct. They are
Wow.
made from the sun. I guess, they live in there. And they're all made of pure white light. But they don't have like a body, like a man body or whatever. It's just the pure white light, like a humanoid, but it's
Yeah.
all pure white light, like the sun.
So these sun beings, they're actually what he's saying. There are beings that live in the sun,
Correct,
correct?
correct, correct. And he said those are
Interesting.
the he told me that those are the sons of the sun. I guess they are made out of the sun material. I guess I don't know how to
Hmm.
explain. So, anyways,
No, go ahead.
so we pierced through the sun. We left, and he showed me, who they were and what they look like, and then we left. We came out to the blue planet. We get there, and then he told me that's home, part of the 39 planets that form the galactic force, and not to ever forget who I am when I come back to Earth. So he brought me back to Earth. We're coming back in space, flying this way, and we can see all the
Yeah.
planets up there. We can see all the planets just flying by us fast. Because I'm on the window
Uh-huh.
and I'm looking out, and I'm looking at Gary. He's really tall. Even sitting next to me, he's really, really tall. So every
Hmm.
time I look at him, I have to look up and speak to him with my eye, which is speak telepathically.
Yeah.
So
Fantastically.
when we coming back, before we come close to the Earth, a big giant mothership from behind the moon shot at us with a red laser, and they hit my window and shot my window with two red lasers. And I look at Gabriel and I say, "What the hell is going on? Why are they attacking us?" And he said, "That's the reason we are here, to protect you guys from those beings. They are evil and they want us out, humanity." So then I woke up from surgery, and he told me that I will always see their ship. And that's the reason why I see ships every single day. And
Wow.
I have a video of him. Literally, he came into my
You have
living room on request.
you
I
have a
asked,
video.
correct. I
Let me
have a
hear you
video.
straight.
Do
Yes,
Let
you
me
have it on your
look.
page?
Okay,
yes,
give
it's
me a
on my
second.
page.
We're going to let him speak. This is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. I'm CmdrAleon. Just to let you know, this is a talk show on late night. Our guest is UFO UAP, an extraordinary story, another great story that I've never heard. And this is where things get to other realities of people. He was on a hospital being operated on. He left his body and he was taken on a journey with the Palladians on a ship. I wanted to, before we get back onto you coming to Earth and the laser hitting the Palladian vessel, were you taken to a planet?
Yes, that blue planet. That blue planet we,
What,
we went to.
what did you go onto the planet? And can you tell us about the blue planet you were on?
So the blue planet, all the streets are made of gold. The people are all made of light, and they're all dressed beautifully and young. Everybody is in their 20s, and they're
Hmm.
all beautiful looking humanoids, human beings, made of light. That's who they are. And he said in that planet, there's no religion, there's no war, there's no problem, there's nothing but love and abundance coming straight from God, the Creator.
Wow.
He told me that.
No, I wanted people to know about the blue planet because you went there with the Palladians on their ship when you were being operated on. You left your body consciously, and
Correct.
that's where you met the Palladians from their vibrational. That's how their vibrations were so high. That's
Yeah.
how you met them, correct?
Correct. Correct. So,
Interesting. Now,
so
go ahead. You were talking about coming back to Earth. And what happened as you were coming back? You talked about this other ship that came out and tried to attack the ship you were on.
Correct. There was a giant mothership like behind the moon, like on the dark
Right.
side, like not behind the moon directly, but there's a dark side of space behind the moon. There's nothing
Right.
there, no stars, no planets. So that mothership was just sitting there, and she was humongous. And we got shot at 2 times with two red lasers, and they hit my window. And I got scared, and I looked at him right at his face, and I said, "What's going on? Why are we being attacked?" And then he said, "Those beings are the ones that wants to take humanity out, and that's the reason we are here to protect you guys. Otherwise, you guys will not be here no more because they want you guys out."
Right. Right. So there's like, it almost reminds me of the whole idea of like Star Wars, the series where you had Darth Vader and the negative and the Empire trying to control the planets. And basically they were the negative ones. And then you have the Force and you have the good ones that are trying to liberate
Correct.
things from being controlled by these negative forces. So it reminds me of that in that when you're describing the story and how the laser attacked the Palladian spaceship, we're talking about two different ET areas, galactic areas. One negative
And
and one
one,
very much here as our star family trying to protect
correct.
our planet Earth, correct?
That's correct. Yes. Yes.
Commander,
So,
this
Now,
guy,
what happened?
so the
hold
video that I
on,
have of, so the video that I have of his face, it was because 4 years after I came out of the hospital, I told my wife
Hmm.
what happened. So she asked me to ask him to show himself to her.
Yeah.
So I have cameras at my house. I have cameras in my living room, in the kitchen, and in the front of my house. As protection. So I told Gabriel with my mind to please, can he show himself so my wife can see him? And I am recording with your permission with the camera in my living room. 2 minutes later, I told my wife, I said, keep your eye on the screen of the camera. A big ball of light came through the front door, and boom, his face popped in for like five,
Wow.
for like 5 seconds, and I screamed, and I was so excited. And I told my wife, I said, "Look, that's Gabriel, that's Gabriel," and I have the video to prove it. And I was not in
You
the
have the
hospital.
video.
Yes, sir, I
Now,
have the video.
can you send me a copy of that video? Would you be willing
I
to do
could,
that?
yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, send
And
me a copy tonight or tomorrow. Send me a copy right away of that video. I want to
okay,
take a look at that and post it. If you get my permission,
and
I'll
that
post it on Ashtar Command Spaceship News on
and that's
my
the
page.
and that's the video I want someone like an expert to check it, analyze it, and prove to me that I did nothing to that camera or to the video. It's
I'll
all
analyze it. I'll
Luis. If
fully.
analyze it.
you want, yeah, I'll check it out so you could, and we'll verify it so we could tell everybody this is real.
Yeah, we'll
Yes,
analyze it
it's
on the show
real.
here.
It's real. They are
Listen,
real. They are always around us. He
listen,
told me.
wait, Commander. I was just checking out his videos. He's got he's got good videos. His stuff's legit. That's why I was
I know
just
that,
off. I was in the
without even
rabbit
looking
hole.
at it, I know that. Yeah, send me the
Oh
video,
yeah.
and I'm going to take a look at other videos of yours too. And
Oh, there's
on the
shit.
show, the show here is like the number one UFO talk show on social media. We'll make sure that that gets analyzed, and also we'll let people see it and let people see it on a wider scale too, including my YouTube channel. And I'll talk about it
And
on my radio show too.
I'm willing to let
Wow.
anybody come to my house and
Wow.
see the things I see with their own eyes, and bring cameras, bring crew, bring everybody you want to bring. I'll bring you to my house. This is what I do every day. I scan the sky for 2 hours from 9 to 11 while I listen to your show, and that's how I make my videos because they come every day.
Are
They
you
Wow.
come.
cooking dinner? If we come, are you cooking dinner?
I'm doing that. We're doing fat barbecues and all that. Yes, sir. But no,
Oh yes,
no alcohol,
cosmic
no drugs.
barbecue party.
Well,
And you're in Modesto.
Modesto, California.
Yeah, beautiful. It's a pleasure meeting you, buddy.
It is
Thank you,
great.
brother. I've been with you guys since the beginning of the show. I love the Commander show. I swear to God, I do. because this is
Oh,
real.
thank you
The
so
show
much.
is real. The show is real. My brothers from the Pleiadians are real. I have proof to the world, and I'm willing to commit to any lie detector test, any scientific test, anything. Put me in machines, whatever you want. I will not fail ever once on my testimony. I have a I have a video that is almost 3 million views with that testimony. Hello.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm
We-
just
We're
So
adjusting
just
yeah,
something.
we're just in
Wow.
awe.
Yeah,
Your
really, we're in
story
awe
of
of your whole
contact.
thing.
Listen, somebody in the
And
chat was talking crap, and I'm gonna say this. I've had surgeries. People that have had surgeries, we know that the dream state and all of that, we get in there. But when you talk about the level of detail,
right,
have you ever in any UFO contact story, have you ever heard of the man giving the marble of light to communicate? That right there, that to me is not something that you can make up.
right,
no, I do not.
absolutely.
I do not, and I swear on my life,
Never
not a
heard that in any story, any movie, nothing. That's the first time you've ever heard anything like that.
That's right.
Do
and I
you
have
Now I'm
have
done
gonna
any
tell.
some.
I
do
want.
you
I
have
want to
any
make it very
marks on
clear.
your body or of something?
Yeah, just that leg that is made of metal, and I have humongous scars on
Well,
it.
I
I
don't
don't
mean to
know.
Yeah.
laugh. I don't mean to laugh, but he's like, "Yeah, I got the leg."
It's good. It's good. It's good. Don't
He
No,
worry,
said
man.
I just wanted to know because I have been abducted my whole life, so I have some weird marks every day. So I'm just used to it.
Oh, Castle, you've been
really.
abducted all your life. You never told us that.
Because I don't know if it's the human abduction or the alien abduction. I just never really
Okay.
seen anyone.
Oh,
Castle, what kind of marks do you have?
Recently, I got the weirdest one, which is like I know my body and I know all my marks. And recently, I got this. It looks like a little pimple on my neck, but it's like made out of
oh
blood
yeah.
and just doesn't come off. And it's not really dry blood. It's just a piece of like skin that doesn't come off. It just looks weird. It looks like it wasn't here before.
Oh, Castle, I got some bad news for you, bud. And Shai was talking about this. You're getting abducted by humans.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Oof.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yep.
but like I just have like these weird marks that just don't look like alien. I don't think aliens will actually even leave any marks. You know what I mean? But like I don't know. Sometimes it's just a scratch. Sometimes it's just like a weird purple mark.
Well, I
Usually
believe it.
it's just scratches, lots of scratches. It's
Oh
like I'm
man.
fighting.
Oh man, that doesn't sound good.
I had purple marks on my neck when I was younger.
You did,
Holy.
Chris?
Yeah, they were from a girl.
Oh, this guy, this
Yeah.
UFO and
guy.
Et, I
Well,
love your
you
story.
set us up, Chris, for that one, but
I had to. I
Well,
couldn't.
I have one more
I know
thing
you
to
had
share.
to do that.
I was just making
So
a
Also,
little.
everyone say
so
hello to
matter.
Dusty Mom too. On UFO, continue on. We have Dusty Mom in here on Encounters. We have a full packed show here, but a lot of people. So I'm going to try to keep things organized. My end of it here. UFO, go ahead. Continue the story that you were telling.
So before Gabriel dropped me back off at the hospital, I promised him that my wife has two daughters, and I have two daughters with her. If I ever had a son, I was gonna name him Gabriel. So 5 years after my accident, my wife got pregnant, and I have Gabriel in my house. He's 4 years
Oh,
old.
dude.
God
He's
bless
God
him.
four
bless.
years old. Very intelligent little white man. He's white, and I'm not white. I'm brown. But
he is brown.
yeah, he is. But his skin is white, and it reminds me of Gabriel because Gabriel was a white man. And his name is Gabriel Luis, and he's here. He's a very intelligent little man. He's only 4 years old.
Oh,
There
that
you
was your
go.
blessing. Yeah, that was your blessing, dude. You
That
got
was
you
your
got
blessing.
yourself a star
You got
child.
yourself. You got
I think
yourself.
they gave
Yes, you took the word Star Child is exactly right.
Does
Yeah, I think
anybody
they
knows
gave
why
you.
But
Pleiadians are white?
I don't know. I don't
the
know.
ETs are of all different colors of the
No, I
rainbow. It
know,
just
but like
happens that
they say that all the Pleiadians are.
No. That
Well, the
priest was
Palladians
brown.
are
He was
a large grouping of beings, so they're all different.
So the priest that came to see me, he was a brown man. He was a Filipino man with brown skin, but also like very young, 30s, 40s, and but he was really dark. He was
Hey,
like dark.
UFO, you want to hear something freaky? When I saw the elf was Filipino looking as well.
See, yep. That Filipino priest came to see me first before he sent me out to the parking lot.
And I just want to
Wow.
break in here for just 1 minute and we'll continue on. This is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. I want people to start, if possible, go to my Venmo on CmdrAleon 2022 right now on the main page. I want to take a mini break to support the work I'm doing here on the planet on this show. If you support what we're doing, if you love the show and love what we're doing here, then
Tap
please
the like.
support. Go to my Venmo account, CmdrAleon 2022. There's a link on Venmo. If you have Venmo, any amount will be fine. If you're on TikTok and have TikTok coins, I ask now that with 158 people here, I know not everybody has TikTok coins, but for those that do, please show your support with a couple of galaxies, other crazy stuff right now, and let's take a little gifting break for the show to show support for what we're doing here. We're very dedicated to the work we're doing here. And I certainly would like to see some of that going on as we are going to be on here till about 1:15 a.m. this morning. So please send your gifts now, whatever you wish to do. Meditate on it for a second. And we'd love to have people do some gifting. If you know how to use the TikTok gifting area on your TikTok, please do so. It's sitting there waiting for you. If you've got coins in there and you've transferred things into coins, use those coins. You show those gifts. There's a lot of people that can do that. If you've been blessed with the ability to have a lot of coins, great. If you have no coins, we still want you here because it's about interacting and learning and sharing, and that's what the show's about. But of everything else, there are people here I know that can send gifts, and we definitely want to encourage that. Go to my Venmo on my main page to the link, and you can make donations there directly tonight. Again, we're trying to raise money, become a subscriber. We're trying to get over 100 subscribers. That money is going to go towards our night vision equipment. So there's a reason why we have that star, that 24 of 100. We want to get it up to 100 a month. So there's a lot of things we need to do here logistically and what we're doing in our C5 group in New England, here in the US. There's so many important things and projects. So when we put this show together, it's different than anything you're going to see because we bring people on from all over the place, all kinds of experiences. And this is a place where people like UFO can share what happened. You no one hear this on any other talk show but here, because this is where we validate our experiences. His experiences, losing the leg in that accident and then going out of his body onto a Palladian spaceship and all the things that happen, and then the beautiful story of his child. You know, where else are you going to hear things of people sharing things and feeling comfortable to share? I would like to see more gifting. We have 150 people on here. I can't believe that there's not enough people with coins that can just gift a few of the bigger gifts to help the show, help what we're doing in our mission work. So we're going to continue on. Please decide what you want to gift. And if you want to go to the Venmo, please donate on the Venmo. Encounters is your late night show every night, usually around 10:30 or 11 in the evening on the East Coast. And my co-host is James. I also have Grace, who does some UFO stories with us on here. We have also Chris, and we have Dusty Mom, who's been on before. She's a wonderful person. Castle from Brazil, a new friend of the show. So we have such a variety of
And
people.
Luis.
That's,
What's
and
up,
what?
brother?
We have
Hi.
Luis
And
in the
Chris.
house. Hey,
What's up, brother?
listen, I wanted to say as the co-host of the show, we have Grace on the East Coast. We have Dusty Mom in the Northwest. We
Right.
need to make Luis our official UAP California reporter.
Okay, I'm
Really,
gonna
we do.
interrupt right now. I'm not
Wow,
in the
I feel
north.
special,
I'm
man.
not in the northwest. I'm
Oh,
in
I thought you
Central
were in the Northwest.
California. I'm only a few hours away from Luis.
Okay, so
California.
Oh, so
you're the
you two need
District
to.
1 California. He's District 2.
Yes.
You two need
And
to
I'm
connect.
super, super excited because I went and checked out a few of his videos and he captured exactly
Isn't it
what
awesome?
I saw the other night.
Oh, you guys saw the same thing.
Yes,
Oh,
the flash, the white flash. He has a couple videos on there
Yeah,
of
that's an amazing
the craft
video.
flashing.
It's what
interesting.
Uh,
it's a
Michelle
role
Michelle in
too.
Australia says we're all famous in Australia. She says love and blessings. So this show is famous in Australia. I don't even know if it is or not, but she says we're famous here on Encounters in Australia. So
Hey,
thank
well,
you
I
for
want to
that.
do something real fun, real quick. Everybody in the chat, all 154 of you, put where you are in the world right now on Earth, so we can
Yeah,
all
let's
see
see.
where the heck this show is going to.
So we're famous in
Yeah,
Australia.
exactly.
That's I thank Australia.
I'm from the rabbit hole in Jersey.
Yeah, he's in the damn Oak Island rabbit hole.
Oh, it's crazy.
All right, let's get to Chris because you got a hat, you got a cowboy hat, you got to do the
Yeah.
dance. Hey, Lakita, I'm actually in Alabama traveling right now. Laquita Ferguson. I'm in Alabama traveling
James
right
doesn't want to
now.
tell anybody, but he has a
I
top
have some
secret
information
spaceship.
here, Commander, if you want to hear it.
Go ahead, Castle, and then we'll get to Chris. Well, actually, we should get to Chris, and then we'll go back to you.
We
Okay.
got somebody from the UK here.
Yeah,
The
well,
UK, thank you. Some random
I'm
guy in Connecticut. You're going to
good.
want to hook up with us for our Ashtar Command
Some
gathering.
random guy. That's a good name. He's some random guy
That
from
is a great
Connecticut.
name.
I want to show you guys one artifact too from yesterday from the tomb entrance.
Yeah,
I
go
did a.
ahead, Chris.
I don't know if you guys. I know a couple of you said James. You said you watched a couple of video and you saw what happened yesterday, where they're going in there and doing these they're called environmental digs. They already
Mm-hmm.
did environmental digs 6 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago. Now they're going back in there again, and now they're digging where the big oak trees are, and that's not a good thing.
Okay.
But
No.
it's the property owners are. I don't know. It's just so much of it because there's tunnels on that. There's tunnels on there, like on my longer YouTube videos. You can see down inside of the tunnel system when they use it
Yep.
for the Civil War for Underground Railroad, and I believe they put Civil War bodies in there because there's a block
Hmm.
away. There's a headstone. There's nobody in the headstone grave sites, and there's two big oak trees in the box. But otherwise,
Wow.
back to the artifacts. I mean, there is some amazing. I did a live today. I don't know if you guys watched it in the evening, where I
I
was
saw
up on
it,
the burial mounds with all the rock piles. Right? Did
yeah.
you
Yep.
see some of those artifacts that I was looking at by those piles?
Big,
They were like
big old arrowhead looking thing.
big spearheads. I mean, I'm talking like the artifacts. Some of the artifacts up there are freaking huge. I'm like, whoa, were the
Mm-hmm.
giants here? you know.
Most likely.
Um, but otherwise, there's those big burial mounds up on these, and they're all on like an east-facing slope, and it's like there's a big mound, and then there's piles of rocks, and then there's a
Hey,
big
Chris,
round.
let me ask you a question while I got
Yeah,
you on
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Why is it when we're looking at the videos, it looks like there was a wall or something that crumbled down? And if I'm looking
Hmm.
at it, just gauging it on your videos and from the Google Earth, I mean, this wall was like 6 feet wide,
Wow.
and who knows how tall. Is that what I'm seeing?
Which one?
Or is it a tunnel? Like you were walking, and maybe you didn't see it. You can't
Hmm.
see it from your angle, but dude, you were standing by this pile of rocks, and this pile of rocks went down for miles.
Oh yeah, that's down this side of the mountain where there's all these boulders that go all the way down. It's like,
You were
but when you
Yeah.
go
standing
up,
right next to it, and I
yeah,
looked
yeah,
at it
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah. And
Google Earth.
it was like behind someone's house, and I'm like, I didn't know if it was private property there or not. I don't want to trespass because I was on township property, and these
Okay,
people's
so yeah,
property,
so I was
yeah, it
watching
dropped
it,
way down. They
and I
dropped way down. There
looked at
may
it.
be a cave there.
I looked at it and I'm like, holy crap, this is a wall. Or if it wasn't a wall, it was a road or a tunnel or something, and you could see it. And I was like, man, he probably doesn't even see this in the video because of the angle.
Huh.
You were
Interesting.
looking down at the ground, but in
Yeah, I was
like
standing on the cliff. I was standing on the cliff edge, right? When I looked
right,
down, it was
so
like
I could
way
see,
down. It was.
so I
I was
could
like, well,
see.
if I lean too far, I'd fall off
Right,
the
so
edge.
I'm looking at it like through the background, and I'm like, wow, there's a whole trail of mound there, and you can see it on Google Earth and everything, and it's pretty
Wow.
interesting.
Yeah, there's big
That's
mounds.
very
What they did was, is I believe they had a civilizations where they did what they did was is they took. I believe what they did was they took their artifacts when these people died and they put them on a hilltop, and then they put them in the ground. Put more people's artifacts, put them in the ground. Kept doing it, and they got done with one mound. They moved to the next one, and then they moved to the next one, and then they moved. You know, every like 10,000 years, they got another mound they had to start. You know, they
So what
filled that one
happened?
up.
Hey, so Chris, what
Yes.
happened to what's interesting, what we don't know is what happened to the civilizations that were in that part of the world where you are?
What I
Do we
believe
know? I
happened
mean,
was with climate change, because we go through these ice ages every 150,000 years, and they're constant. Like you can go to Climate for You, and there's some Antarctica sea ice maps. I mean, Antarctica temperatures of the past, and then you can get other information on sea level rises. And I gave a site, even when we were talking about the solar before, there's a solar site called Stolen, SOLEN, solar.com or SOLEN solar.com, and it gives you like daily updates on solar activity. You can go there and you can watch everything every day of the sun's activity. It's pretty amazing. But get back to a question because I got a little sidetracked again. I'm sorry. And I'm talking. I hope I'm not talking too fast. There's a lot of information. I'm trying to cram it all in a short
So,
period of
so
time.
you're in Oak Island?
Well, there's a lot of oak trees here that are all purposely planted all through this whole valley. It's really amazing. Like
They're
you can go through the
huge.
whole. Yeah,
Is
there's
there any
like
indication that it could be Viking?
no, it was there's more than one civilization I believe here because where I did the video yesterday when the bulldozer was driving across the rock pile of all the artifacts. I don't know if you guys saw that when the cops came, James.
Yeah, Castle. I want to say that just from the stuff that Chris has shown me and I'm seeing on the lives, this might be a civilization that they don't even know about. I'm
They
thinking
don't
this
know
is
about.
before indigenous. I mean, you're talking those artifacts with the carvings. Those things got to be 10, 15, 20,000 years old. Who knows?
90,000 to 130 because
Holy
they couldn't
wow.
have lived here. They couldn't have lived here during an ice age because where I'm at is at the edge of where the glaciers would dump into the valleys. It's called the
So
glacier
the time
moraine.
of the
So,
dinosaurs then.
well, up on the mountain, there's a big giant turtle thing carved with this big giant face, this huge head, and it almost looks like a dinosaur head with a mouth open. But they
Hmm.
have that on a lot of their stones.
So
They
so
have
that's
like this.
probably indication that dinosaurs and humans coexisted, right?
No, because these burial mounds, you know, because they put all these stones on top of these big mounds, so basically no trees could grow for a long time. Just think if you piled stones up, trees can't grow, right? So it takes a long time for soil and leaves to build up and dust, and then maybe you can get some tree growth. But where these mounds are, I think they covered them up around 1825 because they didn't want people to know what was here. Everything that I found has been covered up and disturbed in the 1800s or in the 1700s. Because when
Well,
these
that's what
settlers
they
came
do.
here, they didn't want anyone to know that the civilization was here, I believe, and they covered it all up. But then in 1956, when they were all done doing all their treasure stuff, I believe they did here, they put the clues out. They wanted the civilization to be told. And then they did all these different crazy things. I mean, you can see Roxbury from space. When you look down, you see a pyramid. It's there. The pyramid on top of a pyramid is in the roadways right below where I've been doing the videos.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's all
Interesting.
It's
here.
interesting. It's
They
interesting when
created the
you get a,
roadways. The founders of the country in the 1700s, when they purchased the land from the American Indians, those American Indians went to Canada. They didn't go west. These went to Canada where the Knights Templar American Indians are, the Christian American Indians.
so what we're talking about is these ancient areas like where you are, and there's also things I stated before that are zoned off in the Grand Canyon where there are Egyptian artifacts in caves. And people say, well, how do you get Egyptian artifacts in caves? Well, think about it, how old our planet is And at one point, when all the land masses were together, that potentially Egyptians were what we call North America, roaming North America way, way back before there was
That
a
was
thing
like
called the United States.
335 million years ago, the continents were connected. That's a long time ago. These artifacts are
Yeah.
not that old. What I'm dealing with here is, there's this hilltop. It's amazing. There's this massive hilltop that's on top that was originally, there's like a small hilltop in the middle of a valley that pops up, and it's a pudding stone hilltop. It's the holiest stone in the world. It's the stone when they drove across it with the bulldozer yesterday on live stream. That's pudding stone. It's like a red stone with all the marbles, and it's a very holy stone. So that's on that hilltop. But the other hilltop is a massive
Yeah.
one. And up there, oh my God, the ancient ruins are just, there's boulder piles everywhere with stones that are carved and big giant spearheads. Every boulder pile has these big giant like spearheads that are carved in the faces too. I mean,
And
there's
one of our listeners is saying, well, listeners, I'm so used to radio. One of our watchers, Lio 1995, says they are native indigenous people. That's correct, not American Indian. That is true.
yeah. Well, these are what
Thank you
they
for that.
call pre-Clovis, because I have artifacts, because basically I did a lot of research in these artifacts in the beginning, because I was finding like, why is there only spearheads with one-sided blades? I'm like, I've never seen anything. The American Indians made two sides, because I found them when I was a kid, American Indian
Native
stuff. But I mean,
indigenous. Native indigenous. We
the
gotta beat. We gotta beat.
native is indigenous. Yeah, I say the American Indians, and I know it's an insult, but it's native indigenous people. But it's like the native indigenous people that were here, I believe, maybe 80 to 130,000 years ago, because that was when it was warm like now and the sea levels are up. Because 20,000 years ago, did you know that like off the Jersey Shore, the water was like 600 feet lower than where it is today? Only 20,000 years ago, the sea levels were almost 600 feet lower than where they were today. And then we had these massive ice caps. And then around 18,000 years ago, we had some melting happen. And then they had these Pulse 1 and Pulse 2, where there was these massive floods where the ice caps were melting like crazy and caused biblical floods. And that's what happened. Yeah, that's what.
Thinking of biblical floats, not to be. I'm very conscious of everything here in the live. I also I want to try to slowly get out on the show by about 15 or 20 minutes after the hour. So we have Chris in here sharing some great information. I want to bring in Dusty Mom because I'm conscious of everybody who's on here, and I'm going to bring her
Can I
in.
show you one artifact?
Say again.
Can I show you one? I want to show you one spearhead that's for whaling that came out of the tomb entrance that was wedged in next to the face stone that I pulled out yesterday on live stream.
Okay, so
I have
show
it.
us that, and then we go to Dusty
And I'll
Mom
show you
next.
this, and I'll be done, and then maybe we can come on another day. Another thing. And I appreciate coming on today. And what I would do is I'll turn this around here. Let's
Okay,
see.
we're
There
going
we
to see
go.
this artifact, and
All
Dusty
right.
Mom
So
will
now
be.
can you guys see this?
No, you
Can't
gotta hit
see.
save.
No.
Okay. There
There
you
we
go.
go.
Okay.
Now we can
Okay.
see.
Now this is what I believe to be a whaling spearhead, and it was
Wow, look
wedged
at that.
in next to the side of the giant man's face. So there's a man's face jammed in there, and then there's a giant boulder of the woman's face. So this was jammed into the side, and then what happens here is you can see like this thing here. It's like a little darker. That's just where the wood would be attached. So your wood would be attached here, and then you would strap it with these hook marks. Now I can turn it over,
Wow, you can
and
see.
you'll see.
Yeah.
You can see the face, the pointy head, and then he made it into a face too, right? But this is just beautifully, it's just a big sharpened edge here all the way down, and then this side is all sharpened too. So I mean, it's like and then there's an eye here, and I don't know if you can see the eye here, and it's a face. And then there's another little
All
something
right.
here. See, there's like a bird right here. Now they have a bird on the end. See that? They did birds and faces on everything has eyes. And that's why we have the eye of the phoenix on the back of the dollar bill, I believe. Eye of the phoenix and eyes on all the artifacts. So, but I'll leave it with that. So I just wanted to show that. I'll let you get back
Yeah,
to
that's
everybody
very
else.
cool. Thank you.
All
And
right.
I'm going to do
Chris,
another
thank
live
you.
stream tomorrow. If they're going to be doing more of these environmental digs, I don't know. I talked to the state of New Jersey archaeologist today, and he says, "Is there burials there?" I'm like, Dude, I've been telling you since April that there's indigenous burials on that property too, because what they did was they put
Yeah.
the artifacts where their bodies are. So the other site where the mounds are, wherever the people were buried, they put their artifacts and then they put them under the ground. That's what I believe they did.
Yeah.
He at the one place, all three places where the marker trees are. All right,
Hey,
well,
Chris, thank you
I'll
for
let you
sharing
guys go.
some.
Thanks for letting me on tonight, and it's been a great
Yeah.
show. And
Hey,
Louise,
thanks for
amazing
the
story.
archaeological.
Thank you, brother.
Hey,
Thank
thanks
you.
Yeah.
for
I
the
read the article
archaeological
before
knowledge.
too.
That's really cool, man. And we're gonna go to Dusty Mom. Chris, thank you.
Thank
Dusty
you.
Mom, welcome to the show again.
Hello. I guess I just have a couple questions for Luis.
It's super bright now. Telephone, está alumbrando something, look, the light coming out of her. I don't have a phone. There's a
What's that?
giant chip on top of me. I can't record it because I'm using the phone. She's lighting something.
But
There's a
you can
big
turn your
light coming out of.
camera on.
Ay,
Wait
ay,
a minute. What's
ay.
going on here?
A big ship just came out of the moon and
Turn your
it's
camera
flashing.
on.
I don't know how to
Turn the
do
camera
that.
on.
Now I gotta
Tap
run
I,
your
outside.
face. Tap
wait a
your
minute. I
face.
don't think he
Oh, he
Okay, let
can't
me
do
do
the
it.
it.
camera. He's not. He doesn't have 1,000 followers. Record it, Louise. Record it.
Yeah, get
It
off
says
the live, record it, and come back.
I'm
Yeah,
you
running
record
cannot
your
outside
use.
step.
to see.
Oh man,
Luis,
she's right on top of my head. She's flashing too.
Yeah, turn off the
Oh,
live.
okay,
Don't
I'll do that.
Okay,
record it.
I love you guys. I
don't
love you guys.
record it.
I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll show
Re-
you guys tomorrow. I promise. She's right on
record
top
it
of my
and
head.
send me the recording.
I will. I will do that as soon as I get it.
Okay.
You get it, man. You
Okay,
get it.
Louise,
You
go
get it?
ahead. Get out
Okay, I
there and
love you
record
guys.
it, man.
Good night.
Good night.
well, I don't
Now,
see
let me
it.
say something. Talking about things happening. Go ahead, Dusty. That's incredible. He's going to record a ship that he's seeing coming over. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dusty.
Well, I was gonna ask Luis a couple questions, but he's preoccupied, so I'll have to wait for another night.
Yeah, we'll have
Oh,
to
that's
save it.
funny.
You know, I mean, when stuff like this happens, you
But
can't just sit there. You got to go out there and record it.
I ran
That's
outside to
crazy.
look at the moon, and I don't see what he's seeing, and it's the same moon, so I don't
No, he says
know.
it's right over his house.
It's over his house.
Oh, he
Yeah,
said
so
it.
you
I
wouldn't
thought
see
he
it.
said it came out of the moon, and so I was like, wait, maybe I can
Yeah, it's
see
over
it.
his house. This is why he was going nuts, because it's right over his house. The spaceship.
Man, I need to go to his house.
Yeah, you guys need to have
I
a
don't.
link up CE5.
I see.
Get Levick
Right?
out there, and I think Killer Kelsey's out there. Get all of you guys together.
Yeah, everyone should
That
get
would be
together out there.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right in his
Plevik talked about his
backyard.
sighting over California desert, which was amazing. You know, this stuff happening. This is what I love about this show. Someone like Louise is there. Elson, he's getting a spaceship coming over his house as he's on our live. It can't get any better than that. This is real TV. You know, you won't see this on CNN, folks. You know, this is a reason why I do this, is because this is what's going to happen. These things will happen. And you have no way of knowing when they're going to happen, right? But they do happen. You know, and this is why everyone has to learn how to do CE5. Wherever you are, download the app on your Apple at your Android phone or your iPhone. Download the app for like $10. Learn the protocol, do it, get it together. Everyone here can do it. Everybody here can do it. I really believe that.
Commander, what
Um,
does the weather look like for Saturday? Is it looking
it's
okay?
going to be another one of those crazy days where it's not going to be good. It's not going to be the way we want it to be. So we're going to have to really watch the weather for the following
Well, we're
Saturday after
definitely
this
gonna
one.
have clear skies because we're having a heat wave. So
Well, then we're going to have to
yeah.
come down to Brazil and do the CE5.
Actually, I just found out that the Brazilian government have released a lot of UFO documents. They're available for the public to see
Oh,
pictures, videos, audios, and everything.
Is there a
Oh, we
website
gotta
for
go
that?
see what they have.
that sounds
What's the
Well,
great.
Brazilian
so
website?
so the documents were released in 2016, the first ones, and they report more than 700 UFO sightings in one day in 1986 in four different states.
Wow. Now,
It's
Brazil,
called
you're
the
called to
UFO
explain.
Night.
UFO night. Is there a website for the government release of
The
UFO footage
Brazilian,
in Brazil?
yeah, from the government. It's called Justiça, which means justice. It's the Justice Department. If you if you
Okay.
if you Google the Brazilian Justice Department UFOs, you
Mm.
might find the
Yeah.
page, and you just translate with the automatic translator.
And they have video footage there as well?
I'm seeing a lot of pictures. There's on this article there's 16 audios. There's some videos as well, filmed by military personnel and you know regular people. It's very interesting. I didn't know about that. I'm finding out this like right now.
Oh, you are? Yeah, send me,
Yeah,
if you message me,
I
Castle,
Google it and
the
I
link to
found
that
out this.
site. Yeah, message me
So
the link.
so to find out, you just type 1986 Brazilian UFO incident. You're gonna find all the
Okay.
links on Google. Like the first three links, you're gonna already find the Brazilian website.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
actually
folks,
the
we're getting
government
to,
website.
we'll have to check that out. Well, it's coming to 1:15 in the morning on the east coast of the planet Earth. And we're going to end the show. I want to first, before we end it, I want to thank Chris for being here, the archaeologist part of the show, Grace in our Ashtar group, and also one of my moderators, Castle, for coming on tonight from Brazil. Also, Down the Rabbit Hole for being here. Also, can you please do some final gifting for the show? So we have some goals here. We have 24 of 100 people subscribing. We'd like to increase that. Renew your subscriptions. That's one way of doing it. Gifting is right now, it's so easy to do that with 149 people on here. If everybody will follow and do some gifting to me for the show, we'd appreciate
That's
it. Kit Kat,
beautiful.
thank you. Thank you for the hanging lights. That's what I didn't know what they
Thank
were
you.
called. Hanging lights. Thank you. Any other gifts, anything that you want to gift right now, like Kit Kat did, please go to your gifting area of TikTok. If you have those imaginary coins in there, choose a gift, whatever you want, whatever your finger goes to, press that button and gift right now, folks. So, it takes a lot of work to put this together. And the universe provides us with so many great people with different experiences, from archaeology to the ancient history of our whole thing with the space people. So thank you so much, Jersey for Life. Thank you for being here. We're going to, we're actually, I'm just reading here, Deadhead.
Beautiful.
Jersey for Life. If you ever have an experience, it sounds to me you have an experience, and we'll have to get you on here. I have a feeling you've had an encounter. I got some energy coming from that. And so if you want to come on here with your experience, I'll be on tomorrow night, late night at 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11. I want to thank everybody for being here, all the gifting. We love you all the new people. I'm a
Thank you, thank
sensitive.
you, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Jersey for Life. We'll have you on
Thank you
tomorrow
for
night.
having me.
You're a sensitive. Come on tomorrow night. I have a feeling you have some stories to tell about ETs. I get the strongest picture in my head that that's true. So
Well,
thank you
thank
for
you
being here,
so
everybody.
much
Glitter.
for joining us.
Yeah, everybody. Sure. We press Jesser, Jess. Good to have you with us. Everybody, just have a good night. The commander's gonna go off planet. I'll be back tomorrow night, same time on this TV station here on TikTok. This is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show, the number one talk show on social media. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, take care, everybody.